she said, coming up in the next few minutes. United States of America's Secretary of State to determine whether former Maslock CEO Sedina Tamaklo should be handed to Ghana following district court certification of extradition request. Also on the program this morning, government to suspend some taxes on petroleum products this week as new pricing window opens on Thursday. And much later on the program, increased illegal mining activities along Black Vault leaves residents disturbed as water is heavily polluted. Thank you very much for joining us on the program this morning. Now, the United States of America's Secretary of State is to determine whether former Maslock CEO Sedina Tamaklo should be handed to Ghana. This follows a district court certification of an extradition request made by the government of Ghana. As you may recall, the former Maslock CEO was in April 2024 sentenced to various corruption offences. She had been tried in absentia after she failed to show up in court when she was granted bail to travel for treatment in the USA. We have exclusive details from court documents to share with you very soon. And we'll bring you more on that story later. Petroleum consumers are being urged to lower their expectations as fuel prices may only see a marginal decline. The Ministry of Energy and Finance are to announce suspension of some tax handles this week as the new pricing window takes off on Thursday. There's more in the following report.
Petroleum prices on the world market have been unstable, resulting in a rise in fuel prices at the pumps here in Ghana. Despite a ceasefire between USA and Iran, experts are cautious about immediate drop in prices. Government says tax handles adding up to the price build-up will be suspended for the next 4 weeks. Felix Kwachofosu is Minister for Government Communications.
The finance and energy ministers should take immediate steps to reduce the price of fuel through the removal of some taxes and margins on fuel. Effective, the next pricing window is supposed to last for an initial period of 4 weeks from the next pricing window. After the 4 weeks, the situation will be reviewed.
The Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, meanwhile, says prices may not see a significant drop. Duncan Amoa is Executive Secretary.
Plus or minus, prices could come down if you look at the taxes, and the taxes are significant. If you are going to do about 10% of petrol prices, it could have been 1 cedi 30. That would have amounted to something. 10% of diesel could have also taken you to about another 1 cedi 70. If you input the taxes that the two ministries concerned are likely to reduce, maybe prices could stabilize or decline marginally, but it wouldn't be that much if international benchmarks remain at the levels at which they are today.
Okay. The Chamber of Bulk Oil Distributors wants government to take off the energy sector levies and subsidy on premixed fuel.
A way of government raking in some more money to support the other revenue shortfalls as a result of taking some of these office. Also stop the subsidy on premise fuel, because we've not seen any direct impact that would necessarily bring. Right. And why I say that is that assuming I import petrol, I would rather sell to an oil marketing company that is selling it out for me to get my money than put it into a product that is subsidized.
The new pricing window will begin on Thursday, 16th April 2026.
Now, several residents, including children, at Wood Estate near Karjano within the La Dadekotopong municipality have been displaced in the second phase of a demolition exercise targeting the reclamation of encroached lands. Now, Stanley Nibleu reports that the exercise was later halted following calls from above, requesting the demolition team to resort to dialogue with affected residents.
Victims continue to count their losses as the demolition exercise enters day 2. By 5 a.m. on Sunday, residents were abruptly awakened as 2 payloaders razed their homes to the ground. Under the protection of a joint security operation, more than 100 wooden and cement block structures were reduced to rubble. Victims sift through debris in search of buried belongings, while church services have been disrupted following the earlier demolition of their place of worship. Congregants gathered at the ruined premises to console one another. Residents say the exercise took them by surprise.
They came here with a demolition permit. Everything shows that they have the right to demolish. But the thing is, there are human beings here. And for that matter, there should be some cordial relationship, which probably it will enhance whatever work which is going to take place. Yes, it's true that yesterday they came, but they came in a Rambo style, which we were not given the awareness of their coming.
The Ladadekotopon Municipal Assembly says it was not informed prior to the commencement of the demolition. The exercise, however, was halted after the lead contractor, Clemens Jato, indicated that he had received directives from key government officials to suspend the operation and allow for dialogue with residents.
Whilst we were pushing the exercise forward, calls came. The ministers have called, local government minister, we've had the fisheries minister call, we've had that engagement, and we're happy with what the MP and the MC have come here to say or to do. For human face to the exercise, we've been asked to give extension of time to the exercise.
A 21-day grace period has since been issued to give occupants time to prepare and vacate the land. Within this period, the Municipal Chief Executive, Alfredos Ni Anyate, is expected to engage affected residents. The MCE expressed concern over the scale of displacement.
We have a strong objection to the process. Like I said earlier, we are all at a loss. Suddenly, we were somewhere one early morning and we are hearing there's demolition. I'm not happy, as you can see. I'm very stressed.
Meanwhile, Clemens Jato maintains that a 2-acre parcel of land at Amrahia in the Dental municipality has been earmarked for possible resettlement.
More so, the displaced persons, we've come into an arrangement. We're offering them 2-acre land where the displaced persons will be moved to by the assembly. So when they move, the assembly is with us. Whatever they want to do on the land for them, we will assist them.
Vulnerable families remain among the hardest hit, insisting they will not vacate without firm and transparent resettlement arrangements. With a 21-day ultimatum now in effect, attention shifts to negotiations between authorities and residents as government faces mounting pressure to balance land reclamation efforts with humane and sustainable resettlement solutions. Stanley Nibleu, TV3 News, Accra.
Illegal mining activities have surged along the Blackwater, resulting in massive pollution of the river. Municipal Chief Executive of the Kintampo North Assembly, Isaac Donko, says efforts are underway to deploy the Blue Water Guards as a lasting solution to the development.
A community-based organization, the Ntaban Development Association, had raised alarm over escalating illegal mining activities along the Blackwater River in the Kintampo North municipality of the Bunu East region. The group says what began in a few communities has now spread across several communities along the river, particularly between Bamboy and Bwepe. The situation is said to have worsened significantly in recent months, despite efforts by authorities to clamp it down. The group is also concerned about the potential health implications, noting that fish from the black voter is widely consumed in major markets across Kintampo, Techiman, Ejura, Mampong, Tamale and beyond. Meanwhile, Chief Executive of the Kintampo North Municipality, Isaac Donko, said long-term measures are being implemented to deal with the situation. Among them, the deployment of the Blue Water Guards to drive them away.
Galamsey activities from unscrupulous persons, predominantly from the Savannah region, who enters through the Bamboy side of the river, invaded the Black Volta to do illegal mining. Somewhere this particular year, we had an information that they have resurfaced again. The regional minister to the presidency, they have taken a proactive measure, and as I'm speaking with you, there are people who we have made them ready and they are going for training. We call them the Blue Water Guards. The initial training of these Blue Water Guards, Kintampo North and South, which wasn't part of this challenging Galamsey menace. Since the issue is now increasing and predominantly music goes there, and when you return, then they come back to the water. We are now looking for a lasting solution to make sure that we train the Blue Water Guards to come in.
Now, poultry farmers and egg sellers in Doma in the Bono region say they are grappling with a glut of eggs, a situation they describe as worrying for their businesses. Now, they say that the challenge stems from a blockade by neighboring Burkina Faso, which has raised concerns about the safety of eggs exported from Ghana.
Members are experiencing frustration due to an ongoing export blockade by Burkina Faso authorities who deem their eggs unsafe to eat. This situation has led to thousands of unsold eggs and significant economic strain. The farmers recall a promise made last month by President John Dramani Mahama regarding a delegation to Burkina Faso, but they have not received any feedback or solutions since then.
We have been informed that the authorities in Burkina Faso are claiming that our eggs are not edible and may pose health concerns. Currently, there is a shortage of eggs in Burkina Faso, and our customers are demanding supply. Yet, we are unable to meet this demand due to ongoing restrictions. Following the presentation of our petition led by Osajifo Osiade Dr. Ajimai Bedu II to the President of the Republic, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, on 18th March 2026, we were assured that a delegation would be sent to engage the authorities in Burkina Faso to address the situation. However, since then, we have not received any update or feedback regarding to this intervention.
Addressing the media, Chairman of the Egg Exporters Association urged Ghana's Agriculture and Trade Ministries to engage in government-to-government discussions, establish clear export procedures, and implement independent health certification to ensure the safety of Ghanaian eggs.
We call on the government of Ghana to take immediate steps to engage the government of Burkina Faso to resolve the current restrictions. We request the establishment of clear and consistent export procedures from the Agriculture and Trade Ministry to guide future trade. We strongly recommend that the government facilitate independent testing and certification of our eggs by the appropriate health and food safety authorities and officially communicate the results to Burkina Faso to confirm that our eggs are safe for consumption.
Bafo Atosi Abebiu II, Chief Executive Officer of BM Unity Farms, expressed concerns that despite dramatic price reductions, the situation continues to negatively affect their livelihoods.
They have been buying our eggs, but since this incident happened, all our eggs is choked. We were selling these eggs at about 52 cedis, but it is now being sold at about 20 cedis per crate. 20 maximum is 33 cedis, which has made our income very, very low. And if care is not taken, we are going to run into losses, and this will collapse the poultry business in Doma.
The Doma Poultry Farmers and Egg Exporters Association's steadfast appeal highlights the urgent need for engagement and assurance on food safety that could restore cross-border trade. Claude Kumi Ebisa, TV3 News, Doma Hinkro.
Some more here, and lead convener for the Just Energy Transitions, Dr. Abdul Gafaru Abdullahi, has warned that the push for rapid decarbonization often failed to reflect Africa's development context, noting that a sudden external imposition of transition could undermine Ghana's domestic growth and stability. He was speaking at a conference organized by the Center for Social Policy Studies of the University of Ghana.
The conference was held on the theme Political Economy of Just Energy Transitions and Inequality in Africa, organized by the Center for Social Policy Studies at the University of Ghana and supported by Oxfam, an international non-governmental organization. It provided an interdisciplinary platform for scholars, policymakers and practitioners to interrogate the political economy of energy transitions in Africa. A senior lecturer and convener of the conference, Dr. Abdul Gafaru Abdullahi, said Africa, with an inevitable phenomenon, the global transition away from traditional fuels to greener, renewable forms of energy.
That we engage in this kind of conversations here to think of what exactly does the whole idea of energy transition mean for us as Africans, who is actually bearing the brunt of the transition process, who are those benefiting, what are the trade-offs, is because we think conversations like this would have significant implications for the kind of policies that we adopt as a continent as we transition towards renewable forms of energy.
Provost of the College of Humanities, Professor Joseph Awetori Yaro, called for a pragmatic approach to dealing with issues of just energy transition for Africans.
Political and institutional dynamics play a decisive role in shaping energy transitions. State capacity, elected interests, policy coalitions, and governance structures influence not only the pace of climate change or of change, but its outcomes in equity. The growing global demand for critical minerals like lithium, cobalt, bauxite presents real opportunities, but also raises familiar concerns. Will Africa move beyond patterns of extractive dependence, or will the green transition introduce new forms of inequality and environmental injustice? These profoundly political and profoundly human questions.
Meanwhile, the Deputy Minister of Energy and Green Transition, Richard Jan Mensah, in a speech read on his behalf, said a green transition fund that has been set up will provide solar power, irrigation projects and upgrades to mini-grid systems for small communities.
Now, experts are warning that Ghana risks falling behind in addressing issues like climate change, food security and public health if there are no sustained investment and deliberate efforts to turn research into practical solutions. Now, at a gathering of scientists, policymakers and development partners at the Sankore project closing, governments have been urged to adopt innovation-led and knowledge-driven approach to making lives better for citizens in West Africa.
From unpredictable weather patterns affecting agriculture to evolving health risks and the demands of a digital economy, Ghana is increasingly relying on science, technology and innovation to find lasting solutions. But there have been gaps in that attempt because many profitable research works remain unused, with limited pathways to commercialization or policy adoption.
Ghana as a country is blessed with very hard-working research scientists. They do all these researches, and a lot of them, which are viable, end up on the shelves. We don't see it to prototype or tangible outcomes. So UKCH worked with a consultancy firm to audit the commercialization capabilities of CSIR. And with this, CSIR has developed a commercialization framework. We're hoping that this very intervention or output can even be upscaled.
In 2025, government operationalized the Ghana National Research Fund as part of the Sankore project to finance scientific research and innovation. But experts fear lack of consistent funding could stall research efforts.
And it's very, very important that countries are able to own their own national research agenda. And owning it means funding it. If you decide as a country, for instance, that agriculture, health, climate is your priority, you put your money behind it, you fund the scientists, researchers, the people working in that direction, and they deliver for the country.
Nigeria is looking to legalize its National Research and Innovation Fund with a draft law currently before the National Assembly. This reflects a growing recognition across West Africa that investing in science is not optional but essential, and commercialization is key.
It's one challenge which has affected most African countries. Before now, we believe in just publication and promotion for research and development activities. After all, what is the essence of doing research that would have impact? So this is a plus for us, and we think that going forward, this is one area that is going to bring all the R&D outcomes out.
While initiatives like the Sankore project have built capacity and supported policy development over the last year, governments and stakeholders look ahead to how the gains can be sustained and the ideas translated into action.
And that's all for News Morning here on Newday on TV3. My name is Beatrice Elu. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Do continue with us on Newday.
How may I help you?
We know it's a long-standing history, but look, Black Sheriff is a man of his own. Great guy, great lyrics, always taking you through all the things you need to do a lot of introspection about in life, etc. Thank you for joining us for the show. Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, you're looking very delightful.
Thank you. How was your weekend?
It was okay. It was like topsy-turvy, but you know, you have to mix it up and make sure that you do what is right. It's always important that we do that. And so let me say good morning to you, COP Kujo, who is with the Ghana Police Service, great man, as well as your wife Agnes Kujo as well, and great man. Chairman Godwin Tamaklo, good morning to you as well. Osei Boating AJ, and he's a great entrepreneur. He lives in Kumasi as well. Wishing you all the best for the day. And of course, Paifian, who works with engineers and planners. They've been in the mix doing all the good things when it comes to mining. They've been also in the middle of the discussion so far. Likely going to take over the Dama mines currently, or before the lease expires, operated by Goldfields. So wishing you all the best for the day as well. But we need a lot to discuss this morning. Yeah. Edmond Combat, Managing Director, Tamara Refinery, good morning to you as well. What have you been up to? What can we do this morning? For our big issues, I'd had constant complaints from a number of friends and then residents of Kumasi, especially about consistent power cuts. I mean,
we've heard that.
They get sporadic ones.
Now, even affecting water production. I think we've been doing that over the last few days.
So today we decided we wanted to discuss electricity, power, and then generation. What's happening? Why is that we're having those intermittent? It's not consistent in many areas, but we have some areas that seem to be experiencing it. It goes off 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours, then it comes back. Some areas are experiencing low voltage. Why is it that that's the case? So
the Ashanti region has had this issue for a long time. Remember, the reason they sent the car power ship to the place just to stabilize.
Okay, that was like 2-3 years ago.
But even ahead of that, there were still issues. So
at this time they get the power cuts intermittently in many areas in the Ashanti regional capital, part of the Ashanti region, and then sometimes you visit some other regions and then you experience that, whether the central region or the Volta region. Why do we have that? So we decided to do an assemblage of some of the top guys.
They must be happy with you this morning.
The communication person for the Ministry of Energy will be joining us. Lawyer
that's Richmond
Roxon will be joining us. So we'll have some great discussions on the subject. And then, of course, Sedinam, Atuonu or Tamaklo. We're told that likely if the Secretary, is it Secretary of State?
Yes, Secretary of State.
Makes that decision, or the department makes that decision, then we're likely to see here at the Accra International Airport. So there's going to be a big welcome for him.
For her to go and serve her 10-year jail term.
If they come by flight, if it's not chartered, then it has to be Delta flight. And we know the Delta flight time that they always come. They come during the day, luckily. They don't come in the night. So she's going to pop into the country during the day as well. So we want to discuss that. What does it mean as well?
Exactly.
And would that put more pressure on government to make sure, especially the Attorney General, to make sure that Ken Oforiatta comes into the jurisdiction? So it's a question
last week,
we want to access.
Last week I was monitoring social media. I mean, people that you'd consider learned who were making arguments that the government had submitted everything it needed to submit on the Ken Oforiatta case. And so the United States had to act on that to, as it were, facilitate the extradition process. But at least if the Secretary of State allows this to pass through after the district court certified the extradition, then, like you said, we're likely to see her come to Ghana, Madam Tamaklo come to Ghana. So I think that's a question we can ask people, really, what they make of it. But again, on Thursday, we are to see the reduction at the pumps in terms of prices of fuel. And so, yes, that's just the opening of the next pricing window. And we'd like to get your thoughts as well. To what extent you think that would impact you? So it's a Monday. We can just do the two for people to share their thoughts on it with us. Yes, on that.
All right. So, all made up. Then we'll intersperse the discussion with the latest sports headlines. And make sure you can stay right here. All the build-up to our World Cup. You know that Kudus, we're told, has suffered another recurring injury. And then what do we make of Arsenal just bottling it up, you know, just not winning their match against Bournemouth, losing 2-1. And then we had my team Chelsea just not sticking it up for their London rivals, because the last time they won anything at all was a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know.
You mean Chelsea?
Yeah, no, Arsenal.
Yes.
It was a long time ago.
Because I know you've been teasing Arsenal fans like us.
Yeah,
that
they are
it's
the
been a
most
long
patient.
walk.
They are the most patient of all fans. I don't know. And this weekend I thought they would just win against
No, it's
Bournemouth.
fine. 2-1 is not that bad. It's better than 5-0. Yeah.
No, you don't
And we've
understand.
been-
They are the leaders on the league, and Manchester City has a game in hand.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It's as if they could lose it. I know we're just within that curve, the April-May curve, where if you're not leading very well, the team is not well composed, the psyche of the team is not right. You could lose a lead, and it looks like, you know,
Well, let's hope they
Arsenal
don't.
again will be losing that lead.
Because
the
for
momentum
the
is
past
just
months, for the past months, as you can confirm, it's been great. And so don't just use that one experience to declare doom over Arsenal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
We'll see how that goes. But please make sure you stick and stay. Join us this morning, and let's have some great conversations. And we have cash out as well.
Of course, yes. *439#. You follow the prompt and you pick your favorite platform. It's right here, TV3, always number 2. And we're giving 10,000 Ghana cedis, right, to 10 individuals. So keep playing. Roland is here. He'll tell you play more than 40 times and you get the chance of winning at least 1,000 Ghana cedis out of the 10,000 we're giving. It's a fresh Monday. After a long weekend, those of you who went for funerals and for weddings, you spent a lot of money. Keep playing and get an additional 1,000 Ghana cedis just for playing. It's *439#. Pick number 2. After following the prompt, and that's TV3, and you get the chance of winning at least 1,000 Ghana cedis out of the 10,000 we're given. That's good, right?
Yeah. That's okay.
Yes.
To start a good Monday morning.
Yes.
All right. So make sure you stay with us for our this morning segment, and we're asking the question: what do you make of the likely return or extradition, so to speak, of the former Maslock boss who has been, we know, sentenced in absentia and subsequently being brought into the jurisdiction? Likely, it looks more likely. And what do you think that also does to the pressure that could be will be heaped on the Attorney General to make sure that he does what is right, according to his own statement, to bring in the former Finance Minister, Ken Ofori-Atta? So make sure you join us for the segments next.
Should take immediate steps to reduce the price of fuel through the removal of some taxes and margins on fuel. Effective, the next pricing window is supposed to last for an initial period of 4 weeks from the next pricing window. After the 4 weeks, the situation will be reviewed.
Plus or minus, prices could come down if you look at the taxes, and the taxes are significant. If you are going to do about 10% of petrol prices, it could have been 1 cedi 30. That would have amounted to something. 10% of diesel could have also taken you to about another 1 cedi 70. If you input the taxes that the two ministries concerned are likely to reduce, maybe prices could stabilize or decline marginally, but it wouldn't be that much if international benchmarks remain at the levels at which they are today.
Way of government raking in some more money to support the other revenue shortfalls as a result of taking some of these offices. Also stop the subsidy on premise fuel, because we've not seen any direct impact that will necessarily bring. Right. And why I say that is that assuming I import petrol I would rather sell to an oil marketing company that is selling it out for me to get my money than put it into a product that is subsidized.
And you're still here on Newday on TV3. You're welcome to this morning's segment. And yes, we did tell you that we'll be talking about the fuel price reduction at the pumps coming this Thursday. And of course, Tamaklo also coming back likely to Ghana after the district court in the US certified her extradition. But we can start really with the fuel price reduction at the pumps and happening on Thursday. Roland, you're going to take us through really some of the components in terms of our taxes.
Yeah,
and perhaps
for the price build-up.
Yes,
I mean, basically, what also are the implications in themselves? Because government is trying to reduce those taxes because citizens would have to get some relief. At the end of the day, also that also affects revenue. So it's a chicken and egg situation. So we just want to apprise our viewers of what the price build-up is. And basically, you take a look at the price formula. You look at the top contributors, ex-refinery price being a component of 60% being influenced by prices of fuel or crude, so to speak, on the world market, as well as the exchange rate at which we buy it. And then subsequently, we have 24% taxes and levies, 16% taxes and margins also for OMCs and BDCs as well. So at the end of the day, that also would have a certain ripple effect on what that could also mean and what needs to be done. So far, you take a look at the taxes and levies, we have at least the price build-up. 1 CD levy just introduced over the last course of the budgetary year. That could be a main point of discussion because that's what the advocates have been pinpointing, and already the minority is on the neck of government that make sure that you come and account how much has been collected so far, what it has been used for by way of utilization or expenditure. And I know that Dennis Miracle Abuaji just over the weekend on the key point also emphasized that point as well. But subsequently, beyond this, we have the price build-up, a component of 49 pesos being energy debt recovery levy. The road fund levy also getting 48%, and the energy fund levy being a component of the price build-up, 1 peso as well. And then the subsequent taxes that we have, including the special petroleum tax, the energy sector recovery levy, the sanitation tax is still there, and then we have the primary distribution margin subsequently. So for you as an ordinary Ghanaian, or for you as a Ghanaian a consumer of fuel, you buy it, or as you know, when we have increments in fuel affecting all forms of prices and fees for goods and services, how will any reduction influence your income, so to speak, or your expenditure? And basically, that's the conversation we want to have this morning. So make sure that you call us and let's have this conversation. Are you expectant of this? We're told that at least by way of what the window is, Thursday we're supposed to expect new prices being announced at the pumps. I have a friend, Claude. Claude is always sending me, at least when it comes to Vivo, the price for their stations. That's Shell. Shell.
Yes.
So he's always sending me, and let me say good morning to you, Claude. You're also always helping us do the discussions when it comes to other conversations. And Claude,
I mean, a number of you are already sending us your messages. Even as you get ready to call us, the phone lines, I believe, have already been activated, so you can call in. But there's a message from Mr. Simon. Yeah, he says, I like the excitement of the MPP over the U.S. court's approval for the extradition of Sedina Tamaklo to Ghana to serve her prison sentence. I hope they will show the same excitement when it comes to Ken Ofori-Attah's turn. Good morning, Beatrice and Roland. That's coming from Mr. Simon Yen in the Upper West region.
Well, I guess the politics is good for everybody, depending on which side of the political divide you are. But please make sure you join the conversation. So, former Maxlock boss who was sentenced in absentia and is expected to be extradited to Ghana. And we know that the outcome is now well known, a public knowledge. Now, subsequently, if that decision is made by the Secretary of State or that department that she heads, what are the implications by putting more pressure on the Attorney General to make sure that he confers with the U.S. authorities based on his own utterances to make sure the former finance minister also comes into the jurisdiction? And subsequently, we're going to have a reduction in some tax components by way of the price builder for what you buy at the pumps, the fuel or the petroleum product that you buy at the pumps. What could be the implications for you based on your own assessment for you as a consumer, as somebody who buys them or benefits from them? You think it's a good thing, a good decision made by government?
Well, we do have our first caller already calling us from Tatale. Good morning to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name and what you've got on your mind.
Good morning. Please, my name is Poultry.
Poultry.
From Tatale.
Yes, sir. Welcome to the program. Good morning to you.
So it's called Poultry.
Poultry.
Yes.
Poultry, where are you calling from?
Tatale.
Tatale.
Poultry from Tatale.
Yes, please.
All right, sir. Please go ahead.
Mr. Rona, thank you so much. And you and Madam.
She's called Beatrice. Beatrice. She pronounces it Beatrice. Well, of course, which is the right pronunciation, but we know Beatrice.
You can't avoid the fact that it's a northern region.
All right. Please go ahead.
Okay. What I want to say is I want to thank the president what he's doing for us. So far as Ghanaians are concerned, they should do their best to make sure that the prices of fuel come down, so that ordinary Ghanaians can enjoy. Because when the prices of fuel goes up, it affects everything. So what the thing with them? If they don't let us, Ghanaians are going to suffer. Ordinary Ghanaians, because it's at our income very small. And if they're going to waste all this money on fuel, I think that how do you buy other things? This is what I want to plead with them. They do their best to make sure the prices of fuel come down. And I want to take the opportunity to just tell everything that northern region that they are not in serious campaign season. But if they want to win the seat in Tatale, they should make good of the former deputy chairman, Kotimpo. I want to give them a bit of information. I'm beating him, Kotimpo, the former deputy chairman of Tatale. Now it's the northern region. Then they want to capture the seat in Tatale. They should make good use of that man. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you very much as well. God bless you as well. And calling us from Tatale, Poultry. Thank you. We do have Sani on the line. Sani from Wali, I believe.
Yes. Good morning. How are you?
Good morning. Doing very well. How are you, sir?
I'm also fine. Yes. I'm very happy to join you this morning. Yes. And initially you were talking of power fluctuations in Kumasi. Mm-hmm. Yes. I think it's not only peculiar to Kumasi. Even in Wali too, we also have the same thing. And then our case has to do with, obsolete transformers. The transformers are old, and because of that, they are not able, to supply the current that we expect to get. So due to that, we will have face off. Some parts of the town will be having lights, others will also be having lights. So what to urge on the government and then the GRA boss in Wadi that they should do something to improve the situation. Yes, with regard to the reduction of the price of fuel, I think we are patiently waiting for that. It's just clear with some 2 or 3 days for us to get there. And I want to thank the government for listening to us. Some governments will tell us that, we should tighten our belts and all that. We should live within our means. But this government is a listening president, so we thank him that they should do something. Because if you look at the taxes and the margins on a liter, in fact, it's almost 3 Ghana cedis. When you do the calculations, almost 3 Ghana cedis per a liter. So I think that they have to do something about it so that they will relieve the consumers of petrol and diesel and all that. Then finally, we are happy that they are also bringing Sadinam back to this country. So that she will come and face the laws of this country. Look, you see, people have to disabuse their minds that, look, you cannot just compete for a position. Okay, you want to serve in government. Then when you are given the position, you don't want to account to the people of your country. After you have looted, you have stolen money and all that, you just want to run out of the country and say you are sick. I think that we're improving. We're happy that they are bringing him back. But like you said, they should just bring her along with Ken Ofori-Atta because he is the big fish. I think that everybody in this world knows the grievous illegalities that Ofori-Atta committed. So we're looking for him, coupled with the fact that he has even brazenly break the laws, okay, the immigration laws of the U.S., and they are very tough on that. So why is it that they don't want to bring him back, but they're rather giving us some excuses and all that? But we're happy that going forward, they will also allow him to come and account for the cathedral, the money that is spent on our cathedral, the SML deal, and all the corruption related to that he did for this country. So have a nice day, and I greet all my people in Waliwali. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much as well. Sani calling from Waliwali, and for sharing your thoughts with us. Alhaji joins us on the line. Good morning to you, Alhaji. Thank you for joining us.
Beatrice.
Hi, Alhaji.
Beatrice, how are you?
Very well, thank you, Alhaji. How are you yourself?
Oh, fine. Roland, that's fine.
Nah, Tapia Wula. Gombian.
Bo, Kukiti Biola.
Still on leave. She's well.
Bo. Aja Adama Mama Listi Pura, Nala Jikali. Roland, let me send my greeting to Shamima Musra and Yazwan Lajalat, and chairman of Amphop. We left his father. His father left, passed away for the past one. Our father rest in peace. And municipal chief executive, Sina Lassam Bagaman, and entire listeners, and Dr. Wumbi. See, Roland, when you look about the petrol prices, I think some of us, we have been praying that the petrol prices need to come down because MPP don't have a campaign message. They want to use the campaign message for themselves. Because your government lost control in the petrol sector, and we buy the petrol 1 liter, 19 Ghana cedi. Diesel is 24 to 25 Ghana cedi in your time. But if we have been thinking that we will remove some taxes, and maybe the price will come down, and these people, they have wrong with removing the taxes. Meanwhile, there's no any government who collected taxes past former President Akufo-Addo, who doesn't listen to the people in this country. He punished the people and he puts needless taxes for the and we have been paying that needless taxes. So let's look at how we can solve our own problem. But this problem did not create in only this country alone. Because of the Iran, USA and Israeli war, that caused our fuel increment.
Okay.
So I think let's keep on looking government and you see how they will do. But you see, said Natamaklo, if they bring said Natamaklo and they need to bring Keno Ofori-Atta too, because Keno Ofori-Atta, when Keno Ofori-Atta comes in this country, we arrest more people. Do you know that?
No,
because that come the Cathedral and others. A lot of things, listing money, transaction to the Bank of Ghana, 52 million Ghana cedis. That find it. We will recover it in our country again. May God bless our homeland Ghana and make our nation progress. So, thank you.
Thank you so much, Alhaji, for calling in and for sharing your thoughts with us. Emmanuel joins us on the line. Good morning to you, Emmanuel. I hope you're well. Please tell us where you're calling us from and what you've got on your mind. Hello? Hello, Emmanuel. It looks like we'll have to correct that line to Emmanuel, but as we do that, Prince Henry Koforidia says, "Good morning, Queen Beatrice. The scrapping of the taxes is good news, and all we can say is God bless President John Dramani Mahama." That's coming from Prince Henry Koforidia from Fakakiwa. He says, "My regards to Alhaji Al-Hassan," and says, "Good morning to you as well, Beatrice and Roland. Kudos to the government for taking off some levies to pave way for the reduction of fuel prices to cushion the living standards of the citizen." He said Ghana is really on reset. And from Aziz Stonlai says, "The removal of taxes and subsequently the reduction at the pumps clearly demonstrate how sensitive listening and understanding JM administration is. Certainly Ghana is working again through the right path." Aziz Stonla from Wa in the Upper West region. Thank you very much for your messages.
So we have a couple more messages, so we'll just go through. This one is coming from Sherry Giovanni. Good morning to you, Sami. Says that in as much as this is good news that Madam Sedinam Tamaklo will return to Ghana, this won't end up anywhere. If she returned and she's thrown into prison, she could be granted presidential amnesty or pardon, and she will subsequently then be set free. I do not see any benefit in her return except for political gimmicks, and says we live to see how this will end. And this one also is coming from Kofi Kwating Amanin Kukro. Says, is it not a fact that this government has managed the economy so well that even the war in Iran has not had a major or significant impact on Ghana's economy, despite nearly 2 months of intense fighting and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz? Even during this unfortunate period, international rating agencies, including Fitch Ratings and Moody's, have affirmed the resilience of Ghana's economy, and then says that the change we voted for has paid off. That's Kofi Kwating Amanin Kukuro. And this one is coming from Kwame Boateng, who says that I would want to see Ken Oforiatta in the country, but it's also a good thing that Sedina Tamaklo is now going to be extradited to Ghana to come and pay for her sins. She has a sentence to meet, certainly, because there's been a whole judgment and she was sentenced while she was absent from the jurisdiction. And, well, this one is coming from Madam Anne Ejumako Guest DDA School, and says that you're looking very beautiful in your blue.
Thank you.
And your short hair. That looks good on you. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
The royal blue.
Madam Anne, right?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Madam Anna.
Anna, okay.
Anna,
sure, thank you.
Ejumako Guest D.
Thank you.
DA School.
Yes. I think we have Isaac on the line.
Okay.
Isaac, good morning to you. Thank you very much for joining us on the program. Please tell us where you're calling us from and which of the issues you want to talk to us about. Hello.
Good morning, Beatrice.
Good morning, Isaac. Welcome to the program.
Yeah. We want to commend the president for listening to Ghanaians. We are so happy he has listened to Ghana. For reducing the taxes so that consumers will be free. But my question is, when is Kennedy coming to Ghana?
Well, the government says it is working on it. Please, if you can turn down the volume on your set. Okay, it looks like we've lost him already. But Isaac, thank you very much for calling in. Let me just remind us that this suspension, as it were, is for 1 month. We heard Felix Kwachufu, the government spokesperson, tell us that after 1 month, it will be reviewed and we'll see the way forward. But at least 1 month, yes, is still, I believe, a great relief for a number of Ghanaians who have to buy fuel and, of course, the rippling effect on transportation fares as well. I think we do have another caller on the line. Good morning. Hello? Hello? Okay, we've lost him. Yes, so thank you so much for calling in. The lines are still active. You can call in and share your thoughts with us. Aziz Dola has sent another message. He said, if I were Ken Oforiatta, I would submit myself to face the law. Indeed, the law is the law. Coming from Aziz Dola again from Wa in the Upper West region.
All right, Prince Daniel York is watching us from the UK. Good morning to you, as well as Zilis Dwayne, Obrimpon Kaba, the rest of the individuals who tend to watch us greatly. Yemole Yemo as well. This one is coming from Prince Daniel York, who says, I appreciate that Ghana is embracing greater accountability. This extradition of former Maslock CEO serves as a crucial test for the government to sustain its research agenda. I hope that once Ken Ofori-Atta returns and is duly tried by competent courts, the MPP will not cry foul. Ghana truly needed this research. I'm not too sure about trial. It's okay. So, and then I also have this one from Cephas. Final from, okay. Okay, Cephas, good morning to you as well. And
is
and then no. Okay. Anna says that scrapping taxes on petroleum products has both good and bad effects. In the short term, prices of goods may ease a bit, and transport fares may also reduce. But in the long term, government revenue will drop significantly. There will be pressure on the economy. And it's possible, and if possible, there'll be new taxes or borrowings. My take on the discussion so far. You're right. You're right. I said that early on.
Yeah.
And okay, so Courage Kotoka is also sending us a message. We read that, but we have a caller.
Yes, we do. Joshua joins us on the line. Good morning to you, Joshua. Please tell us where you're calling us from. Hope you're well, and what you've got on your mind.
Oh, I am. Good morning.
Good morning.
I'm calling from. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, good morning. I'm calling from Tamale. My name is Joshua.
Yes, sir. How is Tamale this morning?
Oh, by this, everybody is fine. I want to extend my greetings to Alhaji Imoro Anaba Adams in his regular constituency, one of the finest and the former district chief executives that we had. Well, so far the government is doing very well, and we have to commend him, especially the president and the ministers, for what they are doing. The wheel of governance runs mostly on revenue. And the government and the cabinet ministers and all the appointees taking their time to look at what is happening and saying that, look, let's reduce taxes on fuel. We are commending the government so far to keep it up. It's not easy, but we believe that as we go along, we'll see the benefit of what the government is doing. Greetings to everybody, and thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Very short. Joshua calling from Tamale in the northern region. Thank you. We do have another call on the line. James, good morning to you, James. Please tell us where you're calling us from and what you've got on your mind.
Good morning, Madam Beatrice and then Roland.
Good morning.
I hope everything is okay. I just want to say good morning to the listeners of TV3. And I think I've been monitoring for some time now, and you are doing a wonderful job for Ghanaians.
Thank you.
You see, Madam Beatrice, there is something that Ghanaians, I don't know, excuse me and pardon me my language. I wouldn't like to say we are hypocrites, because that word, I don't like somebody to use it on me. But I'm compelled to use it. Where the due is that you need to give it to, we sometimes close our eyes. One, on the part of fuel prices, I wish this had happened in the previous administration. We would have known what would have been the situation. Somebody has actually cushioned us to make sure that we don't face the hardship. But you can see that a lot of people are mute. Nobody has said anything good about it, except serial callers I know might be aligned to the ruling NDC. What about civil society people who are, whose voices are heard, that I wish they should have come out to actually give that credit to the president? They haven't done it. Two, the extradition of the former Maslock woman, Sedna Tamaklo. This is almost the third time John Mahama is trying to prosecute his own officials. Can we talk about that in the NPP or the previous government? I wish those people who are fond of always holding press conferences upon press conferences, they should come out and hold another press conference and give credit to the president for actually living up to his words and doing the best, putting up footprints that are worthy of emulation. I say good morning to you people and continue to do the good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joshua. Thank you for calling in and for sharing your thoughts. A few messages from Mr. Stephen Penn, who says, good morning, Beatrice and Papa Roll. The expected reduction in fuel prices is good for the traveling public, and coupled with the deployment of the 100 buses in public transport system is really a boost to the research agenda. Also, the return of Sedina should pave the way for the extradition of Ken Ofori-Atta as well to face the music. Stephen Penwa, thank you very much for your message. And let me just read this briefly before I go to our next caller. He says, good morning, Beatrice and Roland. Indeed, NDC government and the appointees are working hard. We thank God the current NDC government has scrapped unnecessary taxes and also which was imposed or introduced by the previous government. Special greetings to Honorable Al-Haji. This latest one coming in is a suspension, just to be reminded. We do have Rose on the line. Good morning to you, Rose. Thank you so much for calling us. Please tell us where you're calling us from, what you've got on your mind. Hello, Rose.
Hello.
Hi, good morning, Rose. Thank you so much for joining us on the program. Yes.
Good morning, please. I'm calling from Accra.
Accra. Which part of Accra, ma'am?
I'm at Kanda. Yes. Please, I want to talk about the rent.
Please, go ahead.
I'm at Kanda.
Yes, we can hear you. Please go ahead with your point.
Hello?
Rose, please turn down.
Good morning to John Dramani Mama. Please, they should do something about the rent. The rent. It's really killing us here in Accra.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Rose, for calling us from Kanda. And yes, sharing your thoughts about the rent situation. We do have another caller. Good morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
I'm Dozier, calling from him.
Calling from?
Ben.
Yes, sir. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Let me first greet my MP, Honorable Khaleesi Lepla, and the entire NDC members, particularly Excellency John Dramani Mama, and the good government. Beatrice, or what do you call it?
Yes, my name is Beatrice.
Okay.
You said it right.
Thank you. Sure. And Roland.
Yes, please.
Yes, I will greet all TV3 workers. Let me say something about the fuel price. If the fuel price can reduce now about the Thursday, what about the VIP plus a new price? It can reduce or you continue the new price. Look, if Ghanaian people, they don't need help. The government is good government. It come and help Ghanaian people, but they don't need help. You see, come the fuel reduce. They are not reduce what? Hello?
We can hear you. Please go ahead.
If the time the fuel reduce, they are not allowed to do the thing or the Ghana here. By the time the fuel will go out small, they are prepared that everything that will go out. You see? So this thing, you think, no, too much. The Ghanaian people here, you have to think something about their ourselves. Thank you.
Thank you so much for calling in and for sharing your thoughts with us. There's a message from Musa Abatwa in Aswanse. I believe Aswanse in the Ashanti region. He says, good morning, Beatrice. President Mahama has clearly demonstrated his genuine concern for the well-being of the ordinary Ghanaian. Despite ongoing global tensions affecting the petroleum sector and placing strain on the national economy, he has taken a bold and passionate decision to absorb some petroleum taxes in order to ease the burden on citizens. This reflects the qualities of a truly responsive and people-centered leader. And that's coming from Musa Abatwa in Aswansi.
All right, so more comments coming through. So we'll just quickly also, this one is coming from Notedra. Good morning to you, Notedra, and says, whilst we chase the big ticket corruption cases, governments are reluctant to swiftly conduct the lifestyle audit and strengthen asset declaration and validation. This time, okay, this is not the time for binary political banter. And many do agree with you on that subject as well. Prince Henry Kofudia, good morning to you. And this one is coming from Oseje, who says that all the things that have happened so far give every indication that the efforts are being made to make sure that they bring in Sedina Tamaklo. But so far, you'll find that even the Attorney General's own briefings that he started with, gidi, have started reducing. Does it mean Ora has failed? So far, he has remained mute. And a year into government, no prosecutions have been made. Okay, so this one also is coming from Courage Kotuka, who says, is it true that President Mahama is a hope for the future of Ghana? Removing this tax on petroleum, okay, says it is true that the president is a hope for the future of Ghana. Removing this tax on petroleum product also means a lot to ordinary consumers. And please inform ECG workers in Keta and Anglonga that we've been without lights in Anglonga Lashibi since yesterday. And so power is needed to be restored. All right.
From Mr. Chachu Chikata Jr., Wa West constituency in the Upper West region, says, good morning, Beatrice Edu and Roland Walker. Good morning. You guys are doing well. Keep it up. Thank you. Says, great news for Ghana. It says the John Dramani Mahama administration has delivered on its promise by removing some taxes from fuel prices, bringing much needed relief to hardworking Ghanaians. This bold decision will reduce transportation costs, lower food prices, and ease the general cost of living for ordinary Ghanaians. This is what a listening and people-centered government looks like. President Mahama and the NDC continue to put the people first. Ayiko to His Excellency President John Mahama. Greetings to my boss, Honorable Peter Lanchini Tobu, MP for Wa West. And that's coming from Chachuchi Kata Jr., Wa West constituency. We do have another caller on the line. Good morning to you. Please tell us your name, where you're calling us from.
Good morning. My name is Mr. Abdul.
Mr. Abdul, yes, sir. Where are you calling us from, please?
Calling from Sino West District, Kwame Danso, in the Bono East region.
Great. Please share your thoughts with us. I hope your area is well.
Yes, good. Yeah, with the reduction of fuel prices, I think it's a good move. But, you know, we Ghanaians, we are not actually ready to help ourselves. When there's increment, we increase. But when there's the reduction in prices, we don't want to reduce our price of goods. Recently, they said there was going to be an increment. They have not increased the price of fare yet, but in our area, for instance, they have increased it. And also, those who are traders in this area, they will hear that they have increased goods of price of goods, but they will not go and then buy new ones, but they will increase their prices. Although they are having old ones with old prices, but they will sell them according to the new prices. It is not fair to actually.
All right. Thank you very much for calling in from Kwame Danso and for sharing those thoughts with us. And yes, are there more messages we need to read?
Okay, so a couple more messages. This one is coming from Newday Gatukwekwe. Good morning to you, Ni. It's been a while I've read your message, so I'll quickly just get onto it and read it. And he says that removal of taxes on fuel products, a great initiative. The government is really caring for the citizens and seems to be listening. If MPP loves accountability, they should also encourage and advocate for Ken to return soon. However, I would want to bring to your notice the Pokwase Katapor Road is under construction, but there's been a big drainage that has been dug by the contractor, and this needs to be worked on quickly because it's causing a lot of discomfort to pedestrians, and it's a big risk for drivers and pedestrians, you say, and that's New Degni Atukwekwe. And then also from we have Fakaki. Fakaki says, okay, which is for the government to take us on levies. Okay, it says praises the government for taking off or intending to take off some levies to pave way for the reduction of fuel prices to cushion the living standards of the citizenry, and he also says that is a good thing. And Abbas Amogobo, who lives in Ofinso, says, we are pleading with the Attorney General to make sure all corrupt politicians in the past government and the present are made to pay for their sins, not just one-sided way of taking a look at this. And so we have more comments as well.
Let me read this from landlord Bolga D. Line. He says, good morning, Mr. Roland and Beatrice. Good morning. He says, some time ago, when fuel prices reached unbearable levels, the previous administration failed to cushion the ordinary Ghanaian. Rather than provide relief, they imposed more taxes, e-levy and betting tax, deepening the hardship. Perhaps it's time they stepped aside and learned what a true standard of governance looks like. My best regards to my boss, Comrade Jonathan Abdallah Salifu, and that's coming from landlord Bolga D. Line. Thank you very much for your message.
Money, need money. You get the opportunity for our last message from you. And so this one, he says, even if the NDC government reduces all taxes for Ghanaians and they don't jail criminals from the previous government, they have failed. Oral does not seem to be working, according to Money Need Money, who's watching us from the UK.
Thank you very much. Before we go for that break, remember that you can always spec up your day the Milky Way with a rich, smooth taste of pep milk shortcake. It is just pure delight, and you can go to any grocery shop near you and find the different flavors that are available: chocolate, coconut, and a lot more. When we come back, we'll bring you the big issue and some more. Do stay with us.
Well, thank you for joining us. We have cash out. It goes with the short code *439#. As many times as you can. Increase the number of tickets you have. Become one of those lucky winners as always. And then make sure that you're in the thick of affairs when it comes to all the things that we're discussing this morning. Because you become lucky only if you increase the number of stakes you have when it comes to cash out with the short code *439#. And to be one of those lucky ones, okay? But that's not what. Well, earlier on, we told you that we'll be discussing power outages, but we'll look at the subsequent reduction in some of the taxes when it comes to the price build-up of fuel. And so we'll discuss that. We'll take a look at that subsequently, and then we'll look at the power outages in the Ashanti region as well. We'll be joined by Lawyer Roxon of the Ministry of Energy. But in the meantime, we'll look at the pricing formula as we have it early on. We apprised you of that during the discussion segment or the question of the day segment. That is the this morning segment, and all of you are apprised by that. So you look at the ex-refinery price component of the price build-up, mainly influenced by global market prices and the exchange rate, comprising 60% of the price build-up. And then we have 24% as well, and then subsequently we have the rest. Okay, and so currently the taxes on the petrol or the diesel or any other fuel you buy, the energy debt recovery levy, the road fund levy, the energy fund levy, just the newly introduced 1 cedi per litre levy, and then we have the price stabilization and recovery levy as well, sanitation pollution levy, energy sector recovery levy, special petroleum tax, primary distribution margins as well. And the commercial margins are what we have for BOST, fuel marking, UPPF as well. And all these get to help to put together or give you the taxes by way of what you need to be apprised of, but also the revenues when it comes to fuel as well. And then the other margins subsequently. And so we expect that by, that'll be Thursday, when we have the new pricing window. The fuel stations by close of Thursday would have been displaying new prices. And we expect to have those news prices having been effected following that announcement that has been made by government, following that emergency cabinet meeting, giving every indication that there is a promise to make sure that some selected taxes that tend to be the component or comprise the taxes for the fuel you buy or the pumps are reduced. And so we'll take a look at that, and then you also get to know. We also told you this morning that Sedina Ationu Tamoklo could be extradited back into the country. And we know that this follows a judgment, so for a ruling. And subsequently, the talk of town, and then also what's occupying many people on the discussion platform is that it could also put more pressure on the Attorney General to make sure that former Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta also is brought to Ghana. Okay, so we'll begin with the discussion of some of those as well. So I have lawyer Pierre Dankwa witness. So good morning to you, lawyer Pierre Dankwa. How are you?
I'm doing great as well.
Great. And then Dr. Bernard Tutubohan, good morning to you as well.
Good morning, Papa Ro.
All right. So we told you we'll be discussing the subject matter of the power outages being experienced in Kumasi, etc. So we'll do that subsequently. But helping us do the discussion will be lawyer Richmond Roxon, is a communication specialist with the Ministry of Energy. So help us do the discussions and also speaks for the Ministry of Energy, so to speak. Good morning, lawyer. Have you joined us?
Yes, good morning, Roland. And let me say good morning to my co-panelists and also good morning to your charity viewers.
Why are we having sporadic power outages across the country? Particularly, there's been concerns that have been raised in parts of the Volta region, but especially when it comes to the Ashanti region, areas around Kumasi, and its environs. And the concerns are that the explanations from the Electricity Company of Ghana, the Ministry of Energy, have not been as convincing.
Roland, your question is quite challenging, because when you say across the country, that would be an exaggeration. As a ministry, we've taken notice of pockets of outages in specific areas across this country. And so when you look at the areas in focus, you're looking at Greater Accra, and then you're looking at parts of Kumasi, and then parts of the Volta and then Oti regions. I'll start with the Volta and Oti regions. Well, and over the years, there's never been a dedicated transmission line in the Volta region. And so what the challenge has been is that there's always the case of low voltage, because even if the power is generated, you still need to transmit the power. As you know, when it comes to power generation, you have the generation, you have the transmission, and you have the distribution side. The generation will have to do with your capacity to generate the power that you need. As a country, we do not have any challenge with that. When we came into administration in January 2025, the whole of 2024, there had been shedding load. That challenge has been addressed. And so we are meeting what the demand is, even though now we have a new peak demand of about 4,400 megawatts. We are still able to deal with the demand that you need. The only issue is that as a country, because over the last 8 years, we didn't see the requisite investment. What has happened is that we have very limited reserve margin. Ordinarily, you should have about 10%. In some countries, they even have 20% of what the reserve margin will be. So that in the event you have a major challenge with any of your generating plants, whether thermal, hydro, or renewable, you'll be able to follow on that. That is a challenge for us. And as a government, the minister is leading the charge together with stakeholders, with the tacit support of His Excellency the President, to be able to address that. And then we move to the transmission side. There's also significant investment. As I mentioned, the Volta side hasn't had transmission line, and so this administration has commenced the process to construct what we describe as the Eastern Corridor line, to be able to put together a transmission line that will supply the Volta Oti regions all the way to part of the northern regions. Once that is done, the low voltages that we've been experiencing in parts of the Volta region, parts of Oti regions, parts of Savannah, and moving up will be a thing of the past. To the question on the outages that we're experiencing, as I mentioned, we don't have any challenge when it comes to our generation. At least we are okay. When it comes to transmission, I've detailed the major challenge that we have. But our distribution side is very, very challenging. When you look at the distribution side, once you get the power, you generate the power and you transmit, the power gets to our homes or our offices or our factories. That is what the distribution will be. That's what ECG and NETCO are in charge. What we've noticed since we took over power is that in the last few years, there's been very, very, very limited investment when it comes to the distribution side. And so the Honorable Minister, Dr. John Jinapor, tasked ECG to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the causes of these outages. And so the Minister has received a report. We've put together a work plan, a comprehensive work plan to be able to resolve all the challenges that is affecting our distribution lines. One major intervention that came across with the report, both ECG and NEDCO, is that we have major challenges when it comes to our transformers. A lot of these areas have grown ahead of what the capacity would be. Ordinarily, we should have prudent planning to be able to deal with the growing demand in specific areas, but that is not what we've seen over the period. And so if you take, let me give a typical example, areas like Oyarifa or even Chado, 10 years ago, anybody who was familiar with those areas will tell you that those areas were not prime areas. Today, if you go to Chado, Chado is an upper class area. If you look at the kind of buildings and the kind of offices you see there, from apartments, duplexes, what it means is that the demand has simply gone up. Once that happens, the transformers capacity in an area will not be able to deal with the demand that is there. And so necessarily, we must invest in transformers. And so if you look at the government's position about a week or two ago, the Honorable Minister approved the transformer upgrade and replacement exercise. What we seek to do is that across the country where we've had transformer challenges, we're going to upgrade those transformers. So if you have a transformer with, let's say 20 kV capacity, you're going to move that to 30, 39. If you have a transformer that is obsolete, you're going to replace those ones. And if you have transformers where areas without transformers that you need to extend to, you're going to do that as well.
Okay.
The government plans to install 2,500 transformers in the next couple of months. We're doing that in phases. So a couple of weeks back, an area like Achimota was complete. They were complaining, the residents were complaining. If you ask them today, that challenge has been resolved after the upgrade. Just last week, we did the Maijo area, which takes care of Santor, parts of its Legon Hills. They have a bigger transformer now. Tomorrow, ECG is getting to Lashibi to deal with the transformer replacements there. Once we do that investment in the distribution line, I'm sure that we'll see significant improvements with the outages.
So for residents in parts of the Volta region, but particularly in the Ashanti region, the Ashanti regional capital, I've had constant complaints for weeks now. And so then the editorial team made the decision that, look, we have to discuss it thoroughly. If you have problem on the distribution side, what do you then tell the consumers for them to be aware that we're going to experience at least more hours each day of power outages?
So, Roland, the challenge is that, you see, when it comes to planned outages, you'll be able to put that across. And if you look at ECG's portals, every single day, ECG announces planned outages across the country together with the Ashanti region as well. If you look at ECG's portal as we speak, this week they've made announcements that some works are going to be done when it comes to maintenance in that region. So those ones, you can always put the notice out. When it comes to trips, transformer overloads, and then its resultant effect, it's difficult to put that across to say, I'll put your light off at this time or at this time, because at every given time, it is the load or the demand that will determine what the load will be. And so once the demand is going up in those areas, what will happen is that the transformers will trip. And if it trips, your lights will go off. And so it's difficult to put across specific schedule or notice to say that within these areas, we are going to put up your lights for an hour or 2 hours. That cannot be the case. Once those faults come up, what it means is that the engineers will resolve it immediately. As a ministry, the minister has ensured that HCG has increased its maintenance team across the regions. And so the response rate in dealing with some of these challenges have been very swift. But we have the assurances of government that as soon as practicable, the same policy that has been rolled out in Greater Accra with the Transformer Upgrade Program will also be done in Kumasi. And so very soon these things will become a thing of the past. It's unfortunate. As a government, we take responsibility for it. We are asking the people to bear with us as we deal with these challenges. For 8 years, we saw practically no investment. Roland, you have 2,600 containers that were stranded. Not a single one contained a transformer, not one. And a transformer is a material, equipment or tool that you need when it comes to distribution. And so if you have 2,600 full of cables, now you've had the government come in, and then the government has to now look at it to make the requisite investment. I can tell you that not too long ago, about a week or two ago, Cabinet approved the injection of over $1 billion 1 billion cedis into the distribution side alone. That should tell you the level of investment and the urgency with which government sees these challenges. And so these challenges will be resolved. We are doing the program in phases, and we'll plead with people that as and when these intermittent outages happen, we'll apologize in advance. That is, we'll resolve it in the next couple of weeks.
Okay, so the people of Kumasi, what are you telling them then? Because it seems to be the place where we have the constant complaints from consumers, even though they are places sporadic and not consistent, so to speak.
Yes, what I would tell the people of Kumasi is that the ministry has taken notice of that. Honorable Minister has the comprehensive briefing on what's happening in the region, and then the materials that needs to be supported for ECG to improve when it comes to its supply. We plead with you that you bear with us as we go through the process of enhancing supply, as we go through the process of making the requisite investment, as we go through the process of changing your transformers to bigger capacity, changing the obsolete materials over the period, and that will be a thing of the past. Recently, I know for sure that my minister spoke to the Ashanti Regional Minister as well, and then gave the assurances. The ECG MD himself has also reached out, and so the work is ongoing to ensure that this problem will be resolved as soon as possible.
Yeah. John Agringi says, in a Cropon and its environs. I even have a message from Isaac, who says that on their resident association platform, this was put the above incomers have lost supply from upstream to, that will be around 7:23 yesterday. So just around 7 p.m., areas, the affected areas were in Sawam, Adeso, Kwabenya, Ashongman, Kotoku, Taifa, Burkina, Dome, Agbogba, or Yarefa. So, those ones, they are not planned, right? Those are...
No, Roland, you're right. You're right. What happened yesterday, and we put the communication out, what happened was that Ghana Gas did a maintenance work for 8 hours. The work commenced in the night around 12 a.m. and they were expected to finish the maintenance works around 3 p.m. Unfortunately, they detected some leakage, and then the work had to extend. And so areas that had power, some areas went off around 6 p.m., 7 p.m. because that issue had to be addressed. What happened was, because of the challenge they had, there was curtailment of gas supply to some of the power plants. And so those power plants could not operate. But that issue was resolved yesterday. So I expect that as we speak, every area should have power. That issue was resolved yesterday around 10 p.m. And so we don't have any challenge now. There's a full supply of gas. As at last night, when we checked, the Ghana Gas was doing about 100 mm stuff. At full capacity, they do about 130 million standard cubic feet. And so I'm sure that those the persons who have sent message can confirm that power is restored and that they're enjoying stable electricity as we speak.
Yeah, the messages keep coming. Low current, intermittent outage. So the ministry then concedes that sections of the country tend to experience maybe not long hours, but a couple of hours of power outages, right? you consider?
A couple of hours, like I said, may it's not cast in stone. It will be difficult to say a couple of hours because sometimes when these trips happen, it takes minutes. Yesterday, I was around an area, a trip happened, the next 2 minutes, the power had been restored. Specifically,
but that's not good for the appliances of consumers, right? Trips.
Yes.
Trips are dangerous, don't you think so? Lawyer Roxon, don't you think so?
Roland, the truth of the matter is that wherever in the world that you operate equipment, there are possibilities of having a trip. It happens all over the world.
Hey.
Once you're dealing with machines, there's definitely going to be a fault or a damage or a trip, especially when it comes to power. And so that is not out of place. These are things that happens, even with the robustness of systems all over the world. There's a possibility or there are potential trips as you operate the system. I'm sure every media general, you've had occasions where your machines, you've had 1 or 2 trips. And so these are not general occurrence. Like I mentioned, these are issues that once it happens, the most important thing is the resolution. This is for the trips. No matter where you operate in the world, once it's a power system, there's a possibility of that happening. But when it happens, what is your response rate? And that's what, as a ministry, the ministry has ensured with the leadership of Honorable Dr. Jinapo, that ECG and NEDCO has enough maintenance teams across the country to ensure that when these issues happen, immediately they are resolved.
Yeah, it looks like we're discussing a topic that consumers love. Dr. Phyllis Nyakun says that the Volta region has been experiencing low voltage every evening for the past 3 months. Part of the, I don't know which part of the Volta region though, but that's what he's saying. Okay, so those low voltage areas, so the currents that we seem to be experiencing, what reasons are you adducing for being why we're having those experiences?
Roland, I addressed that earlier. That is why I mentioned that the Volta region has never, and this is not a problem of this government, in the history of this country, the Volta region has never had a dedicated transmission line. Never. So it is this John Mahama-led administration that has decided to resolve that issue once and for all. It will take an investment of about $600 million to be able to deal with that, and the process has commenced. Okay. And so that is the cause of the low voltage in part of the Volta, part of Oti, part of Savannah region in the north. That is the Eastern Corridor side. Once that transmission line is dealt with, I can tell you, and like I said, this is not a problem that this administration started. It's never been the case that they've had, but this administration will deal with it once and for all, as has been the case over the years.
Richmond Sechi, with the Ho Technical University, says that Ho is experiencing low current every day. It's been happening since last year, and you, of course, you've addressed that. So just be on the stream, or you can monitor when we need you for some clarification, or in case you want to clarify maybe any submission made by our panelists, you can also do so. That's lawyer Richmond Roxon, speaks for the Ministry of Energy and helping us do the discussion, clarify incessant consumer concerns about power outages they've been experiencing. So sometimes they get the power all right, but the current or the voltage is low. They say it's affecting their appliances. On a personal level, really, when I started getting these concerns over the last couple of weeks, I haven't been having power outages, fortunately, in my area. So I kept asking where, and people showed me videos, So I made a decision that, Charlie, let me see whether my producers and the editorial team could also see whether they can have this. And this one says my AC is automatic control because of the low voltage. Okay. And that's the one is coming from Mama Who of the Asogli State. I'm told that Volta region, you have a peculiar problem. It's going to be re-engineered and okay. Yes, sir.
Can you get me?
Yeah, Lawyer Roxon, you can speak.
Yes, and I'm happy that you made that assertion, and that's why I said that your initial question about the power outages being across the country would have been an exaggeration, because across many areas, when you talk about these outages, it's news to them, and I'm glad you are one of such people. If you look at the Greater Accra alone, from Dansoman to airport, you go to cantonment, you go to part of East Legon, even Doyarifa. If you go to a number of areas are not experiencing these outages, but we recognize that pockets of these areas are, and that will be addressed comprehensively. As I mentioned, the process has already started with with the transformer upgrade and replacement exercise, and that will be a game changer when it comes to the power supply.
Okay. Chairman Michael Kuma says that as for the Volta region, they've been experiencing that over the last 3 years. All right. Concerns noted.
That's 3 years. Let me
Okay, so lawyer Kojoga Daudu is here. I have Fifi Boafo as well. Fifi, thank you for joining us as well. And
I think
I'm told your area you don't experience it, so.
No, we do experience. I think I was with the Volta Regional General Manager and the Regional Engineer of Electricity. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
For ECG, and the distributing company.
Yeah, the distributing company. And what they were saying was that for the last 3 years, the expansion of the Volta region, the settlement and the rest, the expansion outweighs the capacity. So most of their transformers are overloaded.
When you say expansion on the consumer side?
On the consumer, the demand has outstripped the supply. So now they have to overload some of the transformers, and they really, really need investment. I think it's an issue that has already been discussed that they are looking at. So for Volta region, there is a peculiar problem, and I think it's the same that applies to the Ashanti region because of the
especially the capital, Kumasi,
the
and
capital,
then areas
and the surrounding areas where people are moving in now. So that's the cause. That's I discussed with them. So when they talked about capacity, the actual fact is that investment. We have grid level infrastructure, our grid, the supply from the grid, the lines, right to the distribution. The infrastructure, some are obsolete, some are weak. That is why you find out that anytime there is supply from the generator through the grids before it gets to us, sometimes we have losses. And because the equipment are obsolete, are weak, we need investment. And investment in the energy sector is huge. It's huge. I can tell you that, yes, the outages we are seeing now is a symptom of a deeper problem that we have. It might be structural problems, it might be issue of investment, and even environmental issues. When there is rain, there is rainstorm, because when they trip because the equipment are weak. And when they touch each other, that is where we find the electricity tripping and the rest. So I'm glad to know that recently Cabinet has given an approval for about 1 billion to be invested into the electricity sector, the distribution level, so that we can see. It's been an issue that for decades, we have seen all this energy crisis. But the assuring thing that we have, the assurance we have is that when we had at the outset of the Mahama government in 2025 January, and there was a crisis, a committee was put up, and that committee was able to surmount the issues, the problem. And I'm sure...
You mean the initial days when they came?
The initial days, yes. Okay. The initial days when there was issue of gas supply, right? We didn't have money to supply, but we were able to find a way to solve that looming problem that we were having. And I'm sure that as the technical men and the people sit there, they would also look at it. I think one of the issues about the supply of gas to our people every time, and I'm sure the technical people over there are on top of the issue, and government is also on top of the issue. It affects everybody. Nobody wants electricity to be out there, outages, because the more they supply to the consumers, the more money they make. The more, yes, the distribution company, once they supply to people more, then the more money they make. So why will they intentionally try to put off electricity? But it is an issue of expansion that we need to look at. And I'm sure government is facing this crisis, and this crisis will be solved. It was done in 2015, 2016, when we had crisis. We promised that it will be done. It was fixed. And I'm sure, borrowing from that example or building on that, these problems of outages will be fixed.
Okay. The question is, have we reached a crisis level? I don't think we've reached a crisis level, but at the end of the day, I don't experience it, but we get constant complaints. Now, particularly when we know that the second biggest city in Ghana, that's Kumasi, it's a big production and economic hub for many people, and consumers tend to face that. It means that we've reached a point where at least the communication needs to get to people. Lawyer Pierre Dankwa, of course, we have these intermittent ones. Please, Laura Roxon, please allow the panelists to talk, and then the next round you can also make an input, if you can. Okay, thank you so much. Yeah, so do you think that perhaps maybe government or the Ministry of Energy or the main distributor or ECG should have been more forthright in the way they interface by way of the communication with consumers, so that consumers are aware that these portend, as a result of that, be expectant of this?
So let me wish your lovely viewers a good morning. Wish yourself a good morning. Pleasure sharing this platform with my friend and senior, Adaudu, a.k.a. Kito.
A.k.a.
Kito.
Kito.
Yeah, Kito.
I
think I'm going to pull something from there.
A.k.a. Kito.
A.k.a. Kito. My brother Fifi,
and then also
our own professor. Roland, I think the energy sector in this country has been in a crisis for a very long time. You see, I think we should be clear on that. It's been in a crisis for quite some time now. Unfortunately, we have played politics with something as critical as electricity, which for all intents and purposes cannot be treated as a luxury. We all know that when you talk about electricity, you're talking about the lifeblood of modern civilization. It is what powers our industries, it educates our children, it sustains our hospital, and it fuels our dreams of prosperity. Now, to have a comprehensive, dispassionate, and non-partisan discussion of this issue, then we need to place this in proper context. The proper context is the history. I think since about 2012, we've been plagued with the structural failures of our energy system. We also the doomsday that we went through between 2013 and 2016, and then which led to the creation of a number of policies, chief among them being the Energy Sector Levy Act, and a number of agreements signed that essentially dealt with the production or generation side of the crisis. Now, when the last regime took over, they took a step further, and I think they took a step in line with an advice given to them by the IMF, and initiated what they called the Energy Sector Recovery Program. So essentially, the Energy Sector Recovery Program was a roadmap that the previous regime set up, very bold roadmap, and essentially to restore discipline, to restore efficiency and sustainability in the power sector. Now, what was the end game of the Energy Sector Recovery Program? The end game was to eliminate financial deficits. It was to achieve cost-reflective tariffs. It was to restore financial viability. It was to reduce losses. It was to renegotiate power contracts and ensure that at the end of the day, we had reliable electricity. That was the end game. Indeed, if you read the Energy Sector Recovery Program, one of the key things, targets that was stated in that program was that at the end of the program, and per their estimation, the program was supposed to end by 2023. They extended it to 2025. But by the end of the program, one, we're going to have financial viability in that sector, and we're going to have reliable electricity. I don't think that there can be a debate about the monumental failure of government, when I say government here, or the SR regime, to implement this program that was supposed to have solved all these issues. So, per the terms of that program, we shouldn't be having this discussion in the first place.
If the implementation was done,
yeah,
or
because
investment.
essentially the implementation. You understand? Because government set up a program, first of all, to identify the issues in the energy sector. So they were able to segregate and understand the various players in the energy supply chain. So there's distribution, there's transmission, there's generation, there's transmission, and there's distribution. And they identify a number of issues. Example, they identify that in every year, government or ECG makes a whooping loss of $200 million from their failure to collect or recover energy that they sell. Now, out of that 200 million, about 80% of those losses were from the ministries, the departments, and agencies. 200 million. Now, the question is, has that problem been solved now? Because it certainly wasn't solved by the time Nana Addo was leaving office. It wasn't solved. And so, in spite of the fact that last year, you had the finance ministry paying, or I think we had reports that they had paid the IPPs their debts. We had reports that they had made monies available for the purchase of fuel, because those were some of the problems identified in the energy sector recovery program. You get the picture. But you can do that. But if the structural defects are not solved, then what you have is that every year you've been carrying that $200 million loss. You understand? We are talking about transmission losses. And in that report, they indicated that when they generate 100% of the electricity, by the time it gets to ECG, there were certain losses, percentages.
Yeah. About 30, 22 to 30.
Yeah, you understand? Now the question is, has that problem been solved? You understand? So that, yes, you can pay the IPPs, you can, what's called, find money to fuel, what's called, the production. But if you do not deal with these structural programs, there's like pouring water into a basket. You understand? And that's why I'm saying that our problem, in my opinion, is a fundamental failure of leadership to show commitment to their core mandate. So we go every year, you campaign, you take power. People want the power, but they don't want to work. And you see, it's sad when the issue is not about our understanding of what the problems are. Because when you read the energy sector recovery program, one thing that is clear in that program is a deep understanding by the people of Ghana of the problems that we have dealt with in the energy sector. We understand it. We know what the problems are. Two, when you read the ESRP, you also come to realize quickly that we also know the solutions. And for me, and that's what makes the issue even worse. Because, see, we can forgive why we are having even this discussion for over 60 years. As if the problem was a lack of understanding of what the problems were, or a lack of appreciation of what the solutions are. But if we know the problems, and if we know the solutions, and if we have put together a program that has documented these, and we are still bedeviled with them, then it's a fundamental lack of commitment. And how do you deal with that? How do you deal with that problem? How do you deal with a fundamental lack of commitment to show leadership? How do you deal with a fundamental lack of commitment to solve the problems, the needs of the aspiration and of the people of Ghana? How do you deal with that? Because that's the problem. Listen, over the past 5 months, I don't know, but I've had situations where my power has gone off, and contrary to what we are being told, I've slept in for over 16 hours. I'm very popular in the as you know, you call and complain.
The customer.
Yeah. So when they see my number, they for the last time I called, nobody even picked. Yeah, nobody picked because I go off.
You are nuisance.
Yeah, I go off because you see, and you can trust your Ghanaian, you can trust the politician to play politics with this. Now we can't keep on going on with this. Because like I'm saying, it's very easy for me to go after the previous government on this issue. It's very easy for me. I should be doing that. But you see, we must find a way of stopping the blame game, even though there's a lot of blame to be passed around. And change the discourse. Because for crying out loud, why are we having this discussion? You recall, in 2024, you were the host, and I asked the same question. Why are we having this discussion in the first place? When the DCSA issue came up. And why are we having this? Why are we doing this to ourselves as a people? You see, there are so many issues where we just throw money at the problem. I'll give you a typical example. You see, recently, government bought a number of buses to solve our transportation issues.
Yeah, 100 of them came, yeah.
And my view is that we are throwing money at the problem without solving the problem. Because the problem goes beyond just lack of buses. Our transportation problem goes beyond lack of buses. You see, you need a comprehensive plan, an understanding of the entire value chain or supply chain, and then do it. Same with the energy issue. Our problem, you understand, it goes beyond just purchasing transformers. It's a whole system with the entirety of the supply chain. Fortunately, we have an energy sector recovery program. You understand? If there's something that I won't be hypocritical about this. I think I commend the current president for his commitment. You understand? They should show commitment to implementing the energy sector recovery program. It shouldn't matter that it was a program set up by the MPP. When you read the program, you have no doubt about the quality of the document.
So the solution is there?
The solution, my only issue with them, with another, is that having come out with such a comprehensive program, there was a fundamental lack of commitment to implement them. And that's why we are here.
But you remember that by 2022, we had gone through huge issues when it comes to our commitment levels to creditors and all that.
No, you see, and that's what I'm saying.
So, and the investment to the power sector.
So that investment won't wash because when Dunso came, and when we had an energy crisis under His Excellency John Mahama, in his wisdom, he implemented the Energy Sector Levy Act. The essence of those acts, first of all, was an appreciation that the problem is not a result of anything he had done when he became, but it's a legacy issue. And instead of creating blame and understand that it's a financial issue, he set up the Energy Sector Levy Act. What did His Excellency Nana do under the auspices of his cousin, Minister of Finance? How did they handle the Energy Sector Levy? How did they handle that? Now, beyond that, 2019, 3 clear years before the crisis in 2022, they wisely, and I agree with that step, they undertook the Energy Sector Recovery Program. If you have not read the document, go and read the document. And if we were just doing an academic exercise, you would give that document about 100%. You are the professor. I don't know if you still give 100%. Excellent document.
No. Lecturers don't. I mean, if you're a teacher and you give 100%, then you're a suspect.
No, there's no suspect. You see the Ghana case. There's no suspect.
No.
Go and read. You asked the same question. Okay, you have answered. So you go and read the Energy Sector Recovery Program, and I'm sure you'll be tempted to give 100%, even though I don't know for what reason.
All he's saying is that it's an excellent
document. But it will get you angry.
Oh, there's no document which is excellent.
That's your view. You see, it will get you.
They think in abstract.
Don't mind them. It will get you angry, and it will get you angry because of the fundamental lack of commitment to implement that program. Because if they had, then these issues about the transformers and all those things, it's not.
What the Ministry of Energy is saying that where we're pumping our money or the expenditure was not aligning with.
And secondly, clearly, you see that the issue here has to do with beyond the lack of reserve generative power, but largely has to do with the distribution side.
Transmission.
Yeah. So it means that, and all those issues have been dealt with.
You are generating enough, but
you are not
when you're transporting or transmitting and then distributing.
Exactly. So in the ESRP, they found a solution to the transmission issue. In the 2, they also found a solution to the distribution issue and the collection issue.
Listen,
that's why I'm saying that. is a fundamental lack of commitment. Because with all this program, you understand, and the fact that right now we are doing prepaid. Don't you prepay your any? So I've prepaid. You understand? We see we need to be honest with ourselves and tackle the issues that will solve the problems of Ghana. You understand? So I know we may not have time. I'll just implore of the Minister of Energy, the Minister of Energy, that probably he's already done that. I shouldn't pretend that. I'm sure probably he's doing that. Go and take the ESRP, go through it, and deliberately and with commitment implement the solutions the ESRP have recommended. And I'm sure when you do that, it can tackle permanently these energy issues that we should not be bedeviled with at this stage of our development as a nation.
Okay. Fifi.
Thank you.
Great plan. We're told that the government of Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and the Bawumia, excellent plan. I'm sure because of financial issues, the commitment hadn't been there, but we still have the plan to be able to follow.
Well, thanks once again for the opportunity. It's a bit surprising, though, that my brother decided to lay the blame on the MPP administration, because honestly, what we're experiencing today is, just as the Energy Ministry spokesperson Roxanne indicated, has nothing to do with generation. These are just typical issues of technical challenges they are facing. And the expectation is that they will find means of addressing these technical challenges. If you decide rather to politicize this, then there's a problem, because technical issues ought to be addressed by technical people. If you make technical issues a political problem, then there's an issue. So if it is a technical issue, my expectation, and honestly, my little readings and then asking around, I got to know that it has nothing to do with shedding power or inability to generate power, but it's a technical issue. And what I said was that then it should not take TV3 to make it an issue. Rather, the ministry must have a deliberate plan to at least bring us all on board, not leave us in the dark as we are experiencing darkness. They shouldn't leave us in the dark, but let us understand that these are the challenges we are facing. So, for example, we are installing new transformers. We are installing new transformers, and these are the places you will experience some doomsday at a point in time. And then within this period, we'll be able to address those challenges. When you do that, at least we all understand that, okay, there's a problem and this is the way of addressing it. But if you allow us to experience it over a long period, then you come and say that, oh, okay, we are actually solving it by fixing transformers. Then you have not been fair to us, because it does not cost us much for the ministry to bring us on board or feed us information as to what the challenges are. And the spokesperson, Roxanne, talked about the fact that, well, it's not widespread. I beg to differ. I beg to differ because I was in Takwa for the last 2 weeks, and that was the situation. Almost every day you experienced power outages. Almost every day. I came back to Accra, and the situation is the same. It's not different in my area. When I came on this show, then I realized that people of the Volta region are experiencing a similar situation. And in the Ashanti region, all of us have been told of how serious the problem is in the Ashanti region. So at least all of us have our own experience in terms of the problems we are facing. So if you say that it's limited, it is not limited, because it goes beyond one district, it goes beyond one region, it goes beyond 2, it goes beyond 3. I am sure that if you should find somebody on this table who is coming from probably a different region, you may also pick information from that region that says that this is the challenge we are facing. So as eloquent as the energy minister is, it's a bit of a surprise that the very articulate John Jinapor doctor is not letting us understand that, well, we have some technical challenges, we have a way of addressing it, and this is how we are going about it. For TV3 to bring it up, and now they come and explain the issues. But beyond that, My brother, who I have not seen in a long while, talked about the fact that, well, we have financial issues, there's a financial challenge. The finance minister went to Parliament. And when he went to Parliament, he introduced the energy sector levy in 2025. The levy he introduced, there's one Ghana cedi they are taking from us. Yes, we are dutifully paying as a people.
You mean per litre?
Yes.
On the fuel?
On the fuel. Yeah. But then it was supposed to be part of the energy generation.
Yes. Offsetting the legacy.
The liability.
What has happened to that money? They said they were going to generate 5.7 billion. The spokesperson for the ministry said, well, the government is committing 1 billion. But indeed, government has gone to Parliament to say that they are generating 5.7 billion. If you look at point 4 of the document that was presented to Parliament by the Minister of Finance, he says something, and it's a bit of a surprise that we are still here where we do not have information. Okay, so this is what the Finance Minister said in his own document. Under management of account, he says, and I read, the Minister shall submit to Parliament an annual report on the management of the account established under Section 3 of the preceding year by the 31st of March of the ensuing year, which is supposed to be 31st of March 2026. Has he briefed us? My information from Parliament is that that has not happened. So if government comes to levy us and says that he is using that money to solve a problem, we as citizens, dutifully paying that amount of money. And the minister is supposed to do that by 31st of March. He has not done that. Do you know how much we have paid? What has that money been used for? Lack of accountability is something we must be concerned about as a people. Because if we play our part and you as government fail to play your part by accounting to us as the people, then there is a problem. So it is important that as early as possible, the Minister of Finance would take steps to go to Parliament, our representatives, and brief Parliament on what that money has been used for. Apart from the fact that the Minister is also failing to inform us on what the money has been used for, I think that the Ministry of Energy must come out clearly and give us an outline on exactly how they intend addressing these technical challenges they are facing, and also to brief us, because it's important for us as a people to prepare.
Want public briefing?
Yes. As a people.
Is that not too much? For example, we have a response from Roxanne, who speaks for the Ministry of Energy, or you want it to be scaled up to the next level?
You, as a media person, you understand this very well, because now TV3 is a very big platform, but you have several other platforms. I remember those days around 2005, 2006, my media organization at the time, we could say that there were 4 radio stations in Accra that had coverage of 93% of listenership in Greater Accra region. Today, no single media house can boast of 5% coverage in terms of viewership or listenership.
Well, for the consistency.
Yes, because now people are even opting for different means of sourcing information. The Gen Zs have a different means of even consuming information.
I met some Gen Zs over the weekend, and I asked, how do you watch me? I said, on phone.
Yeah.
Yeah. And they mentioned me, they watch Newday. Yeah. They watch the segments, actually, on phone.
They don't watch the full program. They even watch excerpts of the program.
And even some even go watch later.
Yeah.
They even watch.
So, if you are an agency of state and you have a mandate or a responsibility to share information with us, you do not wait for a media house to call you and say that because I've shared this information with this media house, it's sufficient. It is not sufficient. You must have an elaborate plan, especially something that affects us. Because if I'm going out today and I am expecting to be back home at a particular point in time, I want to use electricity. So if there wouldn't be electricity, can I iron before I leave because I know I'll have power at this time? If you don't share that information with me and I get home, then I must find money to go and buy fuel to power my generator, then you are inconveniencing me as a person. Whereas if you had shared information with me that at this particular point in time, I'll go off, then I can plan better. So I think that the ministry can do better. But apart from that, another thing which the Ministry of Energy has not done is also the complaints that came out that if you look at the meters and how they were performing, indeed, it runs faster than Usain Bolt because you buy credit today and the next morning
it's gone.
It's gone. The minister set up a committee to investigate that. Roland, do you know what has happened to that committee? Have they submitted their reports? Is it a case that they do not care about Ghanaians, about the suffering, about the exorbitant fees we are paying for electricity? Because yes, they say that they have increased it to about a certain percentage. And we the consumers, are paying more than that. We have complained as our representatives, as the people we are paying, as the people who are supposed to serve us. Is it difficult to say that, yes, I set up a committee. The committee investigated, we realized that, yes, indeed, Ghana for more bremo chiremo, adene nise mutiasa. So we have addressed it, and this was the challenge we've realized. And this is how we intend solving it. Government keeps quiet about it. Is it a case that they do not care about the suffering? I think that it is only right for them to come and tell us what is happening.
Before you come in, please hold on. Before you come in, Roxanne, are you still on the stream?
Oh, Roxanne,
okay, please, I give you only 3 minutes.
1 second, let me say.
Clearly,
let me say this.
No, only 3 minutes.
I know
please,
you want. Tell Roxanne, if he wanted to brief Ghanaians, he should have had his own arrangement to come and brief Ghanaians, not to come and take the time. Kojo Gada who wants to talk about the issues, and then he decides to take Kojo Gada who do style.
We put together the discussion because of concerns from viewers.
He should have initiated it.
As a responsible media house. Now, Roxanne, you only have 3 minutes. Clearly, Fifi and I seem to be in tandem. That there's pure communication vacuum. Information is not being brought to the doorstep of consumers. As a result of that, they are in abeyance. Even though you issue press releases, etc., it looks like perhaps you need to scale it up. What do you say to that?
Roland, that's the concern well noted, and that's why as a ministry, we've also stepped in. What has been the case in the last couple of weeks, you notice that most of these communications were spearheaded by ECG. And so as a ministry, we also recognize the challenge, and then we've also stepped in to ensure that the communication gap is closed. And so you'll be hearing more from the ministry. I'm sure that this week you also hear from the minister as well. Roland, your 3 minutes is very small, but I'll try and then see what we can do. To respond to what my learned friend, Lawyer Pierre Dankwa, also mentioned. One, the ESRP is a document that this government reviewed when it came into office, and they made some amendments to it. We are still continuing. I can tell you that the program has been extended to December 2029. It's currently before cabinet for approval, and so it's not a policy or a program that has been abandoned. What the Minister of Energy has been doing is that there's a comprehensive work plan that he's trying to deal with to resolve all the energy sector challenges. It's not just power, also petroleum as well. And so for petroleum, for instance, when he came, we set up a committee for downstream. It's led to the repeal or the amendment of the MPA Act. When Parliament resumes, you notice that there will be an MPA bill to address those issues. For upstream, is the same. The recommendations are being implemented. For the power sector, there are a number of moving parts. One of the very first problems that we met as an administration was the issue of fuel. You'll recall that when we came, we didn't even have 3 days of fuel to power a thermal plant. And so those issues were addressed. The fuel, you either run on liquid fuel or you run on natural gas. For natural gas alone, in 1 year, you've had E&I increase gas supply from 240 million standard cubic feet to 280 million standard cubic feet in just 1 year. you've had Jubilee move from 100 million standard cubic feet to 130 million standard cubic feet in a year. We've had an increase in gas supply also from Nigeria. And then on top of it, the government intends to construct the GPP2, a second gas processing plant, like what we have with Ghana Gas. That is to deal with the natural gas problem. Because the government's policy is to have a gas to power policy to be able to address the reliance on liquid fuels. And so it is not the case that the issues are not being addressed. It's a very comprehensive document that we're looking at all angles. We've had renegotiation of contracts with IPPs that has also fed into what the legacy debts are.
So the consumers, when are they going to get us those reliefs that they want? I know that you issue the press releases, but the areas that are most affected, even though this
Roland,
is
if you can give me just 3 minutes, it's important that I respond to some of these issues. So when you look at that, we're dealing with that part of it. We've dealt with the liquid fuel parts. We're dealing with tariffs. We are dealing with the distribution side. We're dealing with the transmission side, and also the generation side as well. On the issues where Fifi mentioned about ESLA, the government is injecting 1 billion. When the finance minister went to parliament, the finance minister was categorical that you are amending ESLA to deal with the energy sector shortfalls and then largely to procure liquid fuels to power thermal plant. And so that is what the resource has been. The 5.7, which is estimated, is not even the full amount needed. The full amount needed is about 12 billion. So what we are paying is practically to support government to deal with the issues of liquid fuel. So it's not the case that you've taken 5.7 billion and then you are spending 1 billion and the charging of cheating the people of Ghana. That's not the case. On the issue where he raised that the consumer has been left in the dark, like I mentioned, we recognize that and we'll scale up the communication to ensure that people know. We'll put together the press release, just as we engage all media houses at all times to ensure that people know what's going on.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I wish you all the best for the day, okay?
All right, thank you.
They said you organize the whole press conference so I address the subject, but that's what... I give you 3 minutes so that we'll move on to Sedinam Tamaklo, Ken Oforiatta, lawyer, Dr. Bernard Tutubuahin. 3 minutes on the subject.
So Roland, you bring me here to give me 3 minutes.
He says he doesn't give 100%.
How should I give you 100%? I can't give you 100% if it is not Q&A.
I give you 3 minutes.
Roland cannot do that. So Roland, the whole issue about ECG, plant maintenance, technical faults, is something that this institution has been going through for a long time. Probably back in the days when I was still learning to speak, up to now. And it appears that it has not been solved.
And you are not a young man, so
I am a very old man. You understand? But I think that all these discussions boil down to one specific thing: how to, deliver service quality, and also ensure that customer satisfaction is assured. I think that yes, if ECG is going to carry out this maintenance and upgrades, that is very important that they do that. But in doing that, issues about sustainability, is very important. That you don't do maintenance in a situation where, Roland, you are still watching your time. In a situation where at a point in time, within 3-4 days, maximum 3 months, you come back to tell us that certain things didn't go well within the areas that you carried out your maintenance. When it comes to this issue about customer satisfaction, obviously, Lawyer Dawudi said something about, the development of peri-urban, areas. And so when you read around this issue, you will see that, yes, it is actually increasing demand for electricity. But then, if ECG says that we are going in for this, we want to know that the kind of capacity that they are putting in will be able to take care of these power shortages. And when that is done, then of course we are assured that issues about sustainability, and stability of power, to our homes can be assured. I also want to suggest to ECG that, you see, the whole thing that we are going through, I wouldn't call it management failure, but probably I will say that some people may be sleeping on their jobs. And for a simple fact that in this age and time, when people will even watch Roland as and when they want to on social media, okay, I feel that technology has evolved in such a way that it cuts across every aspect of human activity and operation. So why can't ECG put in a kind of technology that would give them real-time, information and real-time responses? So you have a technology that can prompt you and tell you that.
I think they do.
They do. So what is their response?
From the generation point, you get to know, and then the distribution point, and even the transmission point.
Everything.
Which areas are off in real time.
Then I'll move from people sleeping, to management failure. Because if...
I think it's a communication gap more like.
No, the communication gap is there. The communication gap, like Fifi was trying to explain, and what lawyer was explaining, it has to do with the fact that
ECG
as far as
company, not a communication company.
The detection is concerned,
So, yes.
all right, we have detected it. So we are giving you an information that within 2 days, this is what we're going to do. And from Fifi's point of view, obviously, there are certain details that Ghanaians need to know, rather than even telling us that maintenance is going to go on at this time, at this point in time, and all that. For me, I think that, look, if you make ECG operations too complex, obviously it will affect your response rates. So what probably they should do is to try as much as possible to zone regions, so that they can equally mandate people, probably station people within certain places, so that their response rates to faults and all that will be swift. Beyond that point, I mean, if you are zoning and giving responsibilities to certain individuals, private partners, to take control over certain zones with regards to fixing faults and all that, I think that it will help ECG going forward. So, Roland, I think that they should find a way of coming up with certain innovations, to ensure that their operations are not too complicated and they don't overburden themselves with a whole lot of things that will be breaking the neck of the institution.
Said the pressure is, I'm told that she could be extradited to Ghana, and the pressure is mounting on the Attorney General that oral is not orally.
Just quickly before I just come there. The energy sector...
That's 3 minutes, so...
Yeah, yes. The energy sector levy implementation actually started in July 2025. And government was looking at garnering about 1.2 billion for fuel to keep the electricity for fuel. So it's not like the 5.7 was going to be garnered or collected in 2025 alone. It was going to be for the...
I agree. So, and that is the very reason why I'm asking that if you made a commitment in your memo to Parliament that by the 31st of March, you come and brief us.
Yeah.
What is stopping the minister from briefing us?
No,
I think it solves the problem.
No.
Because there wouldn't be a need for us to be asking questions on this table if we had done the needful.
Yeah, yes, definitely. I'm sure he will definitely come. It's
That's
a statutory
promise
duty.
to Parliament, a promise to Ghanaians. He must live up to that
and I'm
promise.
saying it's a statutory duty.
Yes.
It will be performed.
Which has reneged on honoring.
When they finish the year, the accounting period and the rest, before they put their books down, sometimes takes time. Now, let me move to Sedinam. You know, on a sister platform, and I assured the people, you know, they were in comparison with the former Minister of Finance, that why is it that the focus is only on the former Finance Minister? And I assured them that from where I sit and what I hear, Sedinam will be brought to Ghana. And that will
Which
give us...
flight? Is it Delta?
You see, the legal process...
We'll meet her at the airport.
You see...
Because I think she's
No,
been...
the details...
There's a whole judgment on it.
No. The detail is that... The detail is that when it is extradition, it is not the Attorney General in Ghana who would have to go and pursue the case. It is the U.S. Justice System Department that pursues the matter and comes to a conclusion. It is after that they will give you the details of the flights, the modules by which should be brought to Ghana. So that's when we will get the information. But as it is now, we cannot say that they had completed. Yes, an order has been given. The U.S. Justice Department will now do the details. Once they complete that, then that information is relayed to the Attorney General in Ghana that she's coming on this flight on this day. So let's exercise patience. And I'm happy that, as it had always been said, we had promised the people and everybody that, yes, she will come home. And when she comes home, there's a conviction on her head. Now that conviction to come and serve, that is not the dead end. You have opportunity, you can appeal. Yes, you have opportunity, you can appeal. Because the process input in that she was tried in absentia and she left here on medical grounds, which was permitted by the court itself. And the Supreme Court had already said when it's an issue on medical grounds, the trial would even have to stop for the person to have. It was a case in Sherry Aite, the late Sherry Aite, Dr. Aite, and the Supreme Court said it was an issue about medical health and ground. The trial would have to stop, and the person attends that. So while she's coming, I think that when she gets her lawyers and others and they will give her the needed advice. And I'm sure government has demonstrated that it is committed by bringing people to account for their stewardship. So if she was tried in absentia, I have not been heard as part of the natural justice that, yes, because of circumstances, I was not able to present my case. I want an opportunity that I'll be heard on it. For me, it is good. And this also goes to tell you that, yes, the extradition was started, I think, lately by the NPP government.
Yeah.
Yes, when they were at the tail end of their term, and we had continued. And whilst the process was going on, it was every day, why are you not bringing Sedinam? And we said it was a process. And today, I'm happy that what government has said, it's come. When it comes to the 10 of the former finance minister, people should also be ready and give us the assurance that he would come to Ghana and also account for his stewardship. So that at the end of the day, it is about Ghanaians. It's not about party. It's not about NDC. It's not about NPP. It is what the citizens want, the leadership, leaders to demonstrate that, yes, the leaders are committed. And, you know, you were talking about the oral. That is not orally. No, I don't.
No, I'm not the one saying it. I'm saying that's what I'm hearing.
That the oral is not orally. Yes, you see, when it comes to the judicial process, it is slow.
No, Council, I think, I think it is unfair for you to lay this blame on the judiciary.
No, I'm not saying...
Sorry. The process has not even started.
It's not the judiciary.
It is a matter before the Attorney General.
No, they're investigative.
Yeah, so it's not going to the judiciary.
Maybe it's a choice of language. Yes, investigation, sometimes. You see, the law does not even give the time frame to say that within 1 month you should do this. Once the investigators do the investigation and they bring the report, the Attorney General and the lawyers would have to look at it and say, no, on this issue, go and redo the investigation, or with this issue, this is the clue we are getting. So go and investigate others. So I'm sure as time goes on, we will see a series of the cases that come. But you see, one thing one thing very important that we lump together is that fact gathering. The oral was more of gathering facts, gathering allegations that were being made that people brought together. It's different from investigations that you do and go to court and says that I have a compelling evidence. So oral was all about to gather the facts.
Was a campaign promise.
Yes, and they gathered the facts. Right. You see, it is like when you are leaving government, your driver will come and say, oh, I have seen he's put some car in the garage here. He sent a car to one of the family. No, let me finish. You see, all those allegations they may make, thinking the car belonged to you, may not even be true. So those are kind of things we have found in the oral, and we need to filter it and look at it. Definitely, they need to give information.
Look bad.
Yeah? No. It's not that it's all bad.
Oral compilation, most of them were just stories. Yes,
you see the way my brother Fifi is excited. He's calling on government. Show commitment to your promise to come and tell us.
You have 3 minutes.
Yeah, I have 3 minutes, I know. Show commitment, Fifi.
But of course, you must show commitment to us.
I agree with you. Must show commitment.
And I account for the money
I agree with you. Commitment is very critical.
Yes.
When Nanado was asked, show commitment to ESRP. Show commitment to ESRP. Show commitment to energy sector recovery program. Show commitment to policy that will deal with the problems of Ghanaians. Show commitment to policies that will drive the aspirations of the people of Ghana. Nanado slept. He slept. Fifi, or die.
It's not true.
Or die. So right now we have a situation. So we have a situation where almost every bit of the energy sector recovery program, in terms of generation, at the time he was leaving, the IPPs were on the neck of government. We were on the brink of being shut down. By the time he was leaving, the issues concerning transmission, they were not dealt with. Issues concerning distribution, you understand? Chief amongst them is, let us invite private sector. And one thing about the MPP, and the MPP has a record. Until Nanado, he had a record of being pro-private sector.
Their broken heart is not healed.
Being pro-private sector. And we have PDS.
Yes, PDS.
With a guarantee issue. It was at the end, so they said it in the famous 10 cents of His Excellency Dr. Bamia.
All right, there's anything wrong with
I'm coming. PDS, you understand? So I like my brother Fifi. You know, he argues very well. And I support his call for commitment. But in the spirit of consistency,
right, thank you.
In the spirit of consistency, Fifi, let us hold the feet of Ronaldo and Dr. Bawumia and the MPP government, his government.
Yes.
For their fundamental lack of commitment.
No, but the time is passed. It's been over a year.
No, it can never be passed because, like I'm saying, we are writing a story.
You are talking about.
Listen, I'm coming.
Say name now, Nanado.
So we are talking about commitment. We are talking about being fidel.
Your broken heart is obviously not.
I'm not broken heart.
Nanado was not committed by bringing it.
Now, send it down.
So when it comes to your 3 minutes, you've exhausted it. It shows your sweetheart Nanado, so let's move on.
Listen, so Ghanaians, so when my brother Fifi talk about commitment, you know who has commitment, who does not have commitment.
All right,
but having said that, let me just land on this.
We've landed.
No, I'm
Allow 3 minutes in here.
You don't
want doctor to talk.
Doctor there, he says he doesn't believe next year. So you don't get any minutes. You understand? Listen, you see, this is a constitutional democracy. Understand? This is a constitutional democracy, and we have so many principles. Chief among them being the principles of probity and accountability. So SEDINAM will come. Having said that, in relation to Ken's issue, I've never been in support of the argument that Ken himself must come. I've never been in support of the argument. Because Ken being, as in all of us, we want to self-preserve ourselves. That's why we've given power to government. So government, ensure that Ken is brought down. It's compared to come down. But also remember that when we did our constitution, we said, or we agreed to be governed by a principle that says that you are presumed to be innocent until a court of competent jurisdiction finds you guilty beyond all reasonable doubt. And Ken must be accorded all those. Thank you. But government, so bring Ken down. And when Ken is brought down, when Ken is brought down, and when having met the constitutional requirements, he happens to. I'm not pronouncing. I'm just saying that, and they've done all they're supposed to do. I hope nobody says that it is
actually celebrated the liberty of
3 minutes.
Thank you.
Honestly,
please stick to 3 minutes. I beg.
Look at these people. They spoke for 9 minutes. Let me proceed. I am honestly surprised that SEDINAM chose to stay for the Nevada court to pronounce for government to take steps to bring it. The reason why I'm surprised is that I think there has been a certain pattern. And definitely, I'm not sure she was going to be an exception. Since the NDC took power last year, almost every single individual who was facing trial, a member of the NDC, has been said, go home and see no more.
And Afoko goes home and sees no more.
Allow me to proceed.
Afoko didn't go home.
Kojoga, thank you.
Okay, sorry.
Every single NDC person who was standing trial, the people who said they were committed to ensuring that people account for their stewardship, came and said, hey, you, go home. Hey, you, go home. Hey, you, go home. All of them have been asked to go home. So is it said I'm going to be anything different?
I think you should.
Oh, you mean the filing of the nolle prosequa for
Don't pronounce.
I am not pronouncing, but it is only fair. Doc is here.
But the cases.
A research, when you are doing a research, at least you can, based on what has happened over a period, to fairly conclude that this is not going to be an exception. Indeed, Kojoga Adawudu, I know that there's no evidence to prove that he is going to be the law for SEDINAM. But Kojoga has, for a very long period of time, served as the head of legal for the NDC. He is a very respected voice within the NDC fraternity when it comes to law. And what he says carries some weight. He says something very striking on this table. He says it is not the conviction. It is not the end of the story. She has the power, or she has a right as an individual to go back to court and say that, well, I was tried in absentia, there was some evidence that were not taken into consideration, and the court will give her the opportunity, and who knows what will happen. But there's one thing I will say and end this, because you are giving me 3 minutes.
Actually, 3 minutes.
Even though they spoke for 6 minutes, but that's fine.
Fifi has given me a client.
No, there was a gentleman who was also pronounced guilty in this same case, Daniel Axim.
Yeah.
Do you know the guy is no more in the cooler? Yes. So how different would a case of SEDINAM be? I am not expecting that government will act in a manner where SEDINAM will not eventually serve a term. But based on what has happened, I do not think that Dr. Dominic Ayeni and the NDC administration is going to see SEDINAM serve the entire term. And definitely, they will just but it's based on what they have done. Just as they have done in the case of all other NDC persons who are facing trial. Said now at Yanuta Makulu will be asked to say that, oh, you Krano, at least you've gone to cool off for some time, you serve some 6 months and we'll find a way and say that go home and enjoy. They will not do anything different.
That's your prediction.
Oh, yes, because they have demonstrated it.
If he was to be a prophet.
Oh, this one, you at a point in time come and say that this is Prophet Boafo.
So I think that, yes, from what we are hearing, Sedinam will be coming. But I want to believe that per the arguments by lawyer Daudu, she has the right to appeal, right? And probably to be heard because the first, verdict was, or the trial was in absentia, right? Yes. So now she probably may want to face the judges or whatever and go through the court proceedings. So this whole idea about natural justice, probably will be triggered. But I want to also find out, or probably it will be delighting to see that the merit of the case, will proceed as it is. After all, we are all struggling as a nation, to fight corruption, which has become, a canker within us. And so, is this going to serve as one of the cases that probably will prove that Ghana is really set, to fight corruption? Fifi was trying to talk about the trend and what has happened, in the past. Obviously, yes, but I think that if the case involving Sedinam, is going to follow the same trajectory, then of course we as a people,
which trajectory?
The trajectory where people are not heard and then their cases are cancelled. We've heard the Attorney General saying that there are certain cases that he wasn't interested in or his office wasn't interested in. Yes. All right. Okay, so if we're going to follow the same trajectory, then of course, as a nation, we probably may not
he's
be.
Actually in court now, saying that even the power
it's
that has been the power that has been, the power that has been given to the OSP because of Article 88, he's taking it so that he will control everything and decide who can be prosecuted, who cannot be prosecuted, so that every NDC person,
if it is politically based and we don't find merit in it.
Aiming for a specialist MBA in marketing, communication, operations, supply chain, human resource management, entrepreneurship, innovation, or business intelligence analytics. You will want to go through that advanced dual MBA or chartered manager MBA with the University of Gold Coast because they give you options that match your vision. And they have many other postgraduate degrees like the MSc International Relations, Communication International Marketing, International Law, Security Diplomacy, Accounting Finance, or Human Resource Management, and then various postgraduate degrees in law, in diplomacy, and then also in biblical studies. Now, the pathway is open. They are having April admissions, and so you can apply now. And they also make it easy for you. So they have various means by which you can pay in installments, but more so work around a student who will be in the world of work. And so they make it available for you to ensure that your dream is achieved. And then also you get to secure your future through some of the best learning strategies. So make sure you call them on the line 026 388 8555. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for passing through. We also have cash out. It goes with star 439 hash. And please make sure you choose option 2. Increase the number of tickets. Become one of those lucky winners, as always. All right. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. Well, let's do sports. Bill Leshen is here. And Bill, good morning.
Good morning, Roland.
What took place in the Premier League? We already know that the number of matches were played, but after those matches, a tragedy has occurred.
Yeah, involving Berekum Chelsea. They were on their way back to Berekum after their match in Samra, and unfortunately, they were attacked by armed robbers. And from the account of a source who messaged me the night before, shots were fired. The bus tried to reverse, but they had blocked the road, and so the players jumped out of the bus, ran into different directions. Shots were fired again. Unfortunately, it hit Dominic Frimpong, who happens to be a winger for Berekum Chelsea, just 20 years of age, and his body was discovered, taken to the hospital, but unfortunately he couldn't make it. So as of now, he's been pronounced dead, and a number of statements have already been released. The GFA did confirm this in their statements and did mention that they are engaging stakeholders to improve security when it comes to these situations. And so, yeah, other clubs have also released their statements as well, commiserating with Berekum Chelsea and also on the death of Dominic Frimpong. Very, very unfortunate one. He did score 2 goals in 13 games for Berekum Chelsea this season. His last goal actually came on 22nd of March against Karela United at home. A very good strike from him. And he is known as one of the promising talents in Ghanaian football in the Ghana Premier League. So it's quite unfortunate to lose him in this circumstance.
So usually the teams will have to trek with the team bus from those areas. So subsequently, have we had any contact with the regional police heads, and then also whether any apprehensions have been made into all arrests?
Yeah, the police have already released a statement. They did state that they've started investigations, and they mentioned that from accounts, 6 people, 3 of them fully armed with guns with cartridges, began the attack on these players, and they are making steps to make sure that the robbers are found and arrested, and then we can have legal proceedings from there. But we hope that this is done as swiftly as possible and these armed robbers are found.
Well, so now we have an interaction. We have to talk about boxing.
Yes, indeed, we did invite Theophilus Alote and Dr. Asare, who happen to be very, very highly rated when it comes to boxing in this country. Theo actually fought in the Legacy Rise fight night on Friday, and he won his bout against Erastus in the 7th round. It was a technical knockout. Very, very good fight. I was there, watched the whole thing. And he's still undefeated, and he's on his way to getting a world title shot. And so he's definitely one highly, highly rated boxer. And we did invite them into studio. And on my left, as you can see, is Theophilus Alote himself, young man who has been doing marvelous work in boxing. And on my right is his coach, Dr. Asare, who has trained a number of great Ghanaian boxers in the last few years. Of course, he was a part of the team that went to the Olympics in 2020 with Samuel Techi winning a medal in there as well. And now he's taken Theophilus under his wing, and he's trained him to this level where he has a very good chance of actually getting a shot at the world title. So yes.
Dr. Asare, welcome.
Thank you.
And Theophilus as well, congratulations to you.
Thank you.
Yeah. How do you feel after that technical knockout?
I feel a little bit happy. It's great.
Okay.
Because we prepared for that, for the knockout, so I wasn't surprised. I say that my work has been proved himself for knocking my opponent down, because, I mean, in the gym, we are preparing for knockout. We didn't prepare for finishing all the 10 rounds. So I wasn't surprised at all.
So it was a tactical training for a tactical match, and you were able to execute it to perfection.
Yeah.
Thanks to your coach.
Big thanks
And
to him.
Dr. Sari, you're so experienced when it comes to especially taking boxers from the amateur level to the professional level. And you have to say that Shara's Foundation or agency, they're doing some great work as well. But for this particular match, what was the preparation like?
Well, we know Theophilus is climbing the ladder gradually to the world level, and he has to make a statement with this fight. So, as he said, our preparation was that we should be able to knock him out, and if we knock him out, then it means he's ready. Without that, then we have to go to the drawing board again and then find a way out. And fortunately for us, we were able to stay true. So now he's ready for the world.
So what does it mean? If you say he's ready for the world, what options are available for him based on his weight and then the prospect of meeting opponents that are within his category?
First and foremost, we will thank the Legacy Rights because they are our promoters and they are putting everything on course for us. We know very well that the champion of the world is Jesse Rodriguez and then Webardo Garcia. Jesse has 3 of the titles and Garcia has 1. So they are our opponent, they are our target. We've been watching them every day, and we should always measure ourselves to be able to see it, whether we are ready. And that's why I was saying that we use this fight as a statement. And Jesse, I don't know, but maybe they don't believe in it when you are coming from our side. But we know him more than he may think. And as for Garcia, he is getting old, and so as for him, if we had the opportunity, we'll be able to take him as easy. So we are training very, very, very hard. We are not waiting for a time before we are preparing to meet the time.
Okay.
And that is what we are doing now.
All right. What was your boxing age?
23.
23. So at the end of the day, you're in a position where you're watching the category and you know the opponents that are there.
Yes.
But if you want a shot at the world title, you just don't get up and then you go and face a champion, right?
Yeah.
And so in your mind, as your coach is training you, what are your own targets based on the division or the category that you're fighting?
What my coach said earlier on, I'm aiming for a world title shot. And the opponent that my coach mentioned their name, they are the people who win the world title, so I have to be more focused on them. And now I'm in the world ranking, I mean 1 to 15, I'm in, so I have to look up to those kind of boxers who are there because they are also aiming for the world title shot. So if I have a challenge with them, I have to fast through them before I can meet the opponent. So I'm not just only watching those 2 people, but more focused on those 2 people because they are holding the world title.
During this fight, how were you able to maintain your composure ultimately to the period where the knockout, the technical knockout did happen?
Yeah, like I said earlier on, we prepare for that, prepare for knockout. So my mind, whether if it's last round, 10 rounds, I have to knock him out. Whether round 1, round 2, round 3, I have to do what, knock him out because we prepare for that. So I wasn't, any surprise or thinking about anything because in the gym, even if I want to box, my coach will give me pressure to me to fight because we are preparing for knockout. Because my style of boxing is, to study my opponent, box, do anything, and come in, to fighting. But because of the game plan, I have to focus, to listen to my coach because he's the one who knows the rules, so I have to follow him to pass through the rules. So anything that I'm doing, I'm always going to mention his name. I'm always going to listen to him because I'm in the ring. What he is seeing outside from the ring, I'm not saying it. So anytime comes to the corner and tell me to do.
Yeah, you've told us what your main ambitions are. In the match, I noticed that on your shoe, you had a message, KO teenage pregnancy.
Yeah. I'm doing this for the big men, those who can help us to do that, because if you come to my community, we have a lot of kids over there.
Where's your community? Bukom?
Yeah,
okay.
A lot of kids over there. I'm even older than them, but they are pregnant. They are and they are
so
not
you're
having,
highlighting on the spate of teenage pregnancy among teenagers.
Yes,
so to
please.
speak. All right. All right. So where's he heading now? Before you get a shot, you go through the division. Of course, 1 to 15 is there, but gradually. Legacy
Rice. Legacy Rice.
Legacy Rice. What are they telling you? What are they promising that they can fix for you?
Well, after the fight, we will have a meeting. We are yet to have a meeting, but we know very well that we want to improve our ranking. Theo is already in all the major ranking, WBC, WBA, IBF, and the other rankings. So all we want to do is to improve the ranking.
What about IBO? Is he also?
Yeah, he's also there. We want to improve the ranking. He is 13 in some of the ranking, 15 and 16 somewhere. So we want to at least get ourselves to the first five. Then you are prone to anything.
That's going to take like 2 years.
No. It does not take 2 years because he already have 14 wins. When you check on Boss Rec, maybe after the results, he may have about 4.5 or 5-star or something like that. And so when he has that kind of level, then he can attract anything. And sometimes things happen. We are ready any moment from now, but we are not worried too if it will take time, because patience is also very, very important. So we believe that if today the opportunity comes, we'll be able to take it. But it's not just like that. We can also plan for elimination bout together with Legacy, right? Those ones, then it will mandate the champions to fight him at all costs. So when some of the recommendations we'll make when we meet would be to have an elimination bout so that we'll have a mandate to fight any of the champions.
All right. What's your boxing name? Your nickname?
Lopez.
Lopez?
Yeah.
Theophilus Lopez Alote?
Yeah, that's
Charlie.
it.
Olabawo. Wishing you all the best, okay?
Thank you.
All right, and Bill, you have to close the segment for us.
Yes, indeed. Theo, I mean, you've done so much in the past. I mean, from the first time since 2024, winning bronze at the African Games, all the way to winning 5 title belts right now. Did you imagine that you get to this point where everybody is talking about you, and now you are getting so close to actually getting that title shot?
Yeah, I was imagining that I'll get this this position now, but I wasn't expecting to have this kind of belt. I was planning that definitely my name will become on the world main lights, but I wasn't expecting to have all these titles. So I always say big thanks to the Almighty God, a big thanks to my coach, Dr. Ofori Asawe, and her daughter, Alotus Asawe. Always big thanks to them, because they are the people I've been planning. For me, I'm just doing my job, training for them, and also they are also planning for the belts as well. So we both have our position to play, but they always play their part before I play my part, because prepare for the belts, they play their part, and when it's time for me to fight and win the belt, that's also my part. So all thanks to them.
Right, you take one of the belts, look into the camera, and then send a message to your fans as you wait for the opportunity to fight for a world title. Which of the belts are you picking? this one or that one?
The current
this one.
I'll take
okay, this is the current one. Take this one. Yeah, you can look into that camera and then and then say a message.
Yeah, but I have to tell my fans that they should keep on believing in me. And definitely, you can see the way I'm holding the WBA belt. Definitely, I'm going to hold the world title belt as well. And come and sit right there and talk about, I said to you guys that I'm going to be a world champion, and I've done it. So you guys should put that in mind. Also, keep supporting me coming to the Bukom Boxing Arena or everywhere, or keep supporting me in prayers. And also, I'm not going to disappoint you all. I'm going to do my best to, to bring the world title. Thank you.
All right. Charlie, thank you. Dr. Sari and then Lopez.
Big man.
Thank you as well.
All right. So that'll be for now. And then also make sure that you get to 3 Sports GH and get the latest sports updates.
Yeah.
But also know that Vitality Health Insurance is inviting all corporate institutions, associations and groups to be part of their medical plans because they're saying that cut down on medical expenses, enjoy good and quality health care at a facility which is near you. And so for more information, make sure you visit them on their online portals as well. That's vitalitymh.com, or you can call them on the number 026 657 3200. We're taking a break. We'll be right back. That policy change following that investigation that was undertaken as to the roadworthiness of the Toyota Voxy cars and the concerns that have been raised, whether, well, you have to change a right-hand drive vehicle to a left, etc., and what it means and the implications for the industry and the decision that has been made. So we decided to go to speak to some mechanics and also get to interface with them, get to have a conversation. We're going to have Beatrice at Dakoman and speak to some of those mechanics and get insight into what they do, what they make of the decision in itself, and the way forward. Next.
Now, the National Road Safety Authority says that it is banning the use of Toyota Voxy for commercial purposes for the reason that the vehicle wasn't designed for long distances because of pressure on mileage. And I'm sure you're also aware that a committee was set up within the Road Safety Authority, and it's provided data that indeed this particular vehicle has been involved in a number of accidents. And this is also something that has already been confirmed by Toyota, that these cars were not designed for commercial purposes but for family, just so there's not that kind of pressure on it. And so the Road Safety Authority indeed is saying that we are going to implement that and ensure that lives are protected. But in addition to this is also the fact that this car comes in as a right-handed vehicle, and engineers and mechanics then convert the vehicles from being right-handed to left just to suit the kind of system we have in Ghana. If you're aware of the laws that guide these things, this is clearly against the Customs Act 891, which is against the changing or conversion of cars that are right-handed to left just to suit the system. Again, it is also against the legislative instruments that guide the operation of the National Road Safety Authority, which is LI, I believe, at 953. This morning, we are currently at Dakoman, exactly at Charity Park, right here in Accra. And if you get to this place, there are so many cars, not just Toyota Voxy, but also there's Toyota Belter as well. We also do have 207, and then the VIT that a number of people know. And we'll be showing you some of those. And a number of these vehicles are being converted from right hand to left hand just for people to, you know, have use for it. But I have some people here. If you get to the mechanic and you're not an expert, you will call them mechanics. But all of these individuals you see here have different roles that they play. And I'll be talking to them very briefly. But there is a gentleman, apparently, whose company imports these right-handed vehicles. And his company is, he tells me, Stone. He'll be joining us very soon. All right, there he is. He joins us right here. Hello, sir. You're welcome to Newday live on TV3. How are you today?
Oh, I'm fine.
Now, you were telling me earlier that your company is one of those companies that imports such right-handed vehicles for subsequent conversion. Tell us how long you've been in this company. Perhaps first your name and the name of your company.
My name is Osman. I'm from Tamale. I've started this business for almost 5 years ago. So we started with this Toyota Sienta. Okay. We started with it first. So my company name is Stone Auto. That's what I used to import the cars from Japan to Ghana.
So you import only right-handed vehicles, yes, after which you convert, yes, to left-hand?
Yes.
Are you aware that what you're doing, per the laws of the country, this is really, it is illegal for you to import in the first place and to convert them?
No, I'm not aware it's illegal because we started it since, and then we pay duty at the port. So before we clear it, so we don't know it's illegal.
So tell us, you say you pay duty at the port. When you import from Japan, what are some of the processes you go through? And for instance, how much you eventually pay?
First, you used to pay 20,000 per car, but now they have increased it. This Sienta, now we pay the duty for almost 40,000 cedis without port charges.
And who are those at the port? I know that normally you have customs, but if you can tell us the institutions that are there that take you through the process.
We have agents at the port. When it comes, you give him the distance, then he'll clear for you. He'll give you the documents for you to clear.
And they don't tell you that importing such vehicles is illegal?
No.
When was the last time you imported any of the vehicles you talk about?
Currently, I'm to clear a container this week, maybe tomorrow.
Tell us again, you talked about, is it Toyota or Sianta?
Toyota Sianta, we started with it.
And now, aside from that, which ones do you import again?
Toyota Belta, Toyota Vit, Toyota Velfire, Toyota Haze, and then Toyota Voxy. A lot of cars. Toyota Vanguard, even
that is also right-handed.
Yes. And then we have Benz cars that we import to, and then we convert it. Even V8 we bring, and then Land Cruiser. Yes.
Some of them are right-handed.
Yes.
And all of them you import from Japan?
Yeah, from Japan, yes.
You say you've been in this business for about 5 years?
5 years, but my boss has started for almost 20 years now.
Now tell us, you say that you pay duty at the port.
Yes. Currently, this car, Toyota Sianta, we clear it at the port 40,000 cedis. And then Toyota Voxy, this one like this, we clear it at the port, almost 70,000. But at first, it used to be 35,000, and then now they increase it to 70,000 with the port charges.
Let's start
depending on the year model.
Let's start from the Sianta. How much is it originally?
The current price is $110,000.
$110,000?
No, cedis.
Cedis? Yes. No, I'm talking about how much you imported from the manufacturer in Japan.
With the shipping, we can get it like 60,000.
And then you come and you say the duty is 40,000.
Even more than the amount you get it from there.
Aside from clearing at the port, when they come, obviously they have to be registered. Tell us the processes you go through to register them, because the problem is that it is illegal to import these, and yet after importation, you still get the opportunity to register.
When you clear it at the port, you have your documents. So you use the document. When you sell the car, you release the document for the customer. Then you go and register it at any DVLA office.
The information coming out is, for instance, the Voxy vehicle, the Toyota Voxy, they are registered as private cars and they end up being used for commercial purposes. As somebody who imports and you help your customers, as it were, to register, are you aware of this?
No, actually, those that have sold, if you are using it for private, you register it at private. And then if you are using it for commercial, you register it for commercial. So that's what I know.
So your office is in Tamale, in the northern region, and you've seen some who have registered commercial.
These cars to Tamale. Sometimes I can take 5-10 cars on the road, but I have my trained drivers that I drive to Tamale. I've never incurred any problem in the car since I've started this business. If not flat tire, it's our road that is the problem in Ghana here. It's the road that we should look at. Now I take the Eastern Corridor route. Now I don't have any problem with ties when I'm going. But when you take the Kumasi route, it's not good at all. I'm the first person to send 10 Voxy at once to Tamale, to the north, but we've not encountered any problem. Except when you take the Kumasi route, that you have a flight. The potholes are too many. So I will plead with the National Road and Safety to check on the potholes rather than to ban the cars.
But sir, there was a committee set up by the roads, the National Road Safety Authority. And of course, it's not just Voxy that uses the roads. It says among the cars, Voxy seems to be involved in a lot of accidents. You're not concerned?
Yeah, the problem is about the drivers. So now we have a union that we want to talk to the drivers, and then the owners. Maybe you give a driver a sales a day, maybe 500 or 1,500. That costs it. But we have created a union that we want to talk to them, and then we'll see how best we'll go about that.
Let me get clarity before I end with you. If you say drivers, is it that they are driving recklessly or they are moving beyond the speed limit for the car?
Yes, yes.
Which of the two? Are you saying yes?
The speed limit, maybe at least should be 80 or 100. Because me, when I'm going to the north, maybe my speed limit is 100. And I will be on lead. So I will tell all my drivers, so you can't move beyond that.
Thank you very much. What's your name again?
I'm Osman. By my company name is Stone Auto World.
Stone Auto World, Osman with Stone Auto World in Tamale. He referred to Toyota Belter, and there is a Toyota Belter here currently being worked. Okay, that's also something that you're currently working on. Yes. But the Belter.
Toyota Belter, I want them to check. Maybe Ghana, anywhere, when you get to traffic light, any traffic light, you count. You can come. You can get Japan car almost 100 in a traffic light.
All
Even
right.
in Accra here, I've experienced that.
All right, so
get to traffic light. The Japan cars here. There are many in Ghana here.
There are many in Ghana, he says. Yes. So I want us to have really an appreciation of Toyota Belter. Currently, they've removed a lot of the parts. Ideally, that would cover the dashboard and other bits, really, that make the car comfortable for use. And it's currently on the right side. And if you look at what they've removed, it's obvious that they are getting ready to change the steering, which is currently on the right side, to the left side, so that this very car can be used on the roads in Ghana. So, of course, the conversation with a worker of Stone Company now. But of course, after the importation, before these things are done, as in the steering moved from right to left, there are people who work on them. And here at the mechanic shop, like I did say earlier, when you are just a layman, you say that I'm going to the mechanic, but it looks like all of them have their own specifications in terms of jobs that they do. And I want us, even before we have a conversation with what they call the auto engineers, right? The electricians, I want us to have a look at this one. So this is a Voxy, Toyota Voxy, and it's currently also on the right side. And again, if you look at the fact that they've removed the dashboard and other things that cover this car to make it comfortable for driving, it's obvious that yes, it's right here on the right side, and they will be moving it based on how long it takes to the left side. And I do understand that it's not just about the moving. A lot of engineering goes into it because these are electronics. And I do have here with me what you call an auto electrician. He is the electrical person involved in the wirings and all of that after the change. I want us to have a conversation with him here. Hello, sir. If you can just join me briefly. What's your name, sir?
I'm Steven Mensah.
Steven Mensah. How long have you been doing this job?
Nekrane say me be adwuma no mu no 2016. Na me buy na Toyota Voxy crampo e mai. Na ya car akase do mo de fatimba no daf no. Ya tell say car we ebeba. Na nsi ya mete so mutwa car ni mu no kre e ma me yem hye me na me say aden. The tie ne say enye electrical fault. Minim driver bitumi complain say utwi car na bia prekum na car na gina ana say car ni pulu e speed no omokono.
But openi ya research bebre a omaye wo ho a e kire say car no sebi because most no free right e dey call left no brake no enya issues ana steering ene niema bebre a che say omo munim car mu no aye research ehu say sa na problem na etie nti adenti na wo ka say wo de wunyini
me amegina no obi obeka sa no siniwu enye ne kre ne ntumi enye ne kre so da car no eba ye nkoto bibia ade eto no fofo ye steer rag no fi steer rag ne de uye hu adwuma ya na enye yie ba wire sisi ye mfa wire bia nhyem brake paddle no eno ana ye yusu electrical say mia na me unya problem bia de ben e wo ho nti obi obeka kire wo say steer ne sesa na ema problem ne ba no enye ne kre.
So Mr. Mensah is claiming that it's not true, that the car gives you problems because generally the steering is changed from the right side to the left just to make it convenient or applicable, as it were, for people to use them in Ghana. He's disagreeing with data that is already out. But really, I want you to, and you're saying that you've been in this business since 2016, so that's about 10 years now. Yeah. 10, 11 years, you say. If you would kindly sit in the car and really tell us, you are an auto electrician, right? Sure. Tell us how this whole thing is done. Like I said, you've already removed the dashboard and a few other things that really make a car for you to move. Tell us this process. Ideally, first of all, how long does it take before you remove all these things and then eventually change from right to left?
The credit say a bar for fraud, no, not dashboard in New York, now you try dashboard in New York, but I'm saying dashboard for fire the bank, aber, into way particular, no, say a bar, not pressure, and shop, I bet to me the 3 days, and I'm finding at least less than 1 week at the bank, every year. And a bar won't say still, no, I will say no. What talk original dashboard that? Ne bar for fraud, on far Bibian can bar and Casa the bank, why is this when ye? Why a bakum you know me as a pen, I will be train, Amanaqua. As later wire no, we in socket no fa wire behind the bank and can fuse box no and one we use engine mu put the young cohort. Our beka say yakwa ye bibi wo engine mu ntino car no aye adwanedodo dey bi.
Okay, so you're saying if there's no pressure here, you finish all this work, including. So he's just basically saying that when there's not a lot of pressure here at this mechanic shop, which, like I did tell you, is a charity park in Dacoman, he'll be able to finish the work in 3 days. Okay, but when there's pressure here, then how long does it take for you to finish it, like, ready for use?
Say pressure near say now penny less than 1 week. If it's your original dashboard, unye ejume bia wom. And now we say bibia your original antin, and you feel now kwabo so you can go to Tonyama 1 or 2B. Ni bibia ye ready da inti acha less than 1 week no ubewie I sequence wa wunya problem bia.
So which aspects really will certify that the job you've done is good enough for the car to hit the road?
Bon say me say bibia me try car no me tabli kuma me ko be 1 or 2 inti bia say board bi na tight here and a board na nsia na dede bi na wa ase na me de aba na mabeye yeah.
How, for instance, did you learn your job, which should make people trust that indeed the job you're doing, they will not end up dying because, you know, it wasn't an expert who worked on it?
Me say the Juman de San American Mission Wakra, but me will be o Dubai or no so was a Sansti and Ibi. In Tibia, me face problem beer, me friend, Manema, 1 or 2 advice say, Yenisi.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mensah there. He's an auto electrician. But aside from that, there are also individuals here that hopefully will be able to make time to talk to later. This man here, as you can see him, he's a mechanic. We understand that he is an air conditioning specialist and, of course, the welder. After things have been broken, you need to put it together. But generally, that's what they're saying. They don't seem to agree with the reports coming out that this car has been involved in accidents, primarily because of the design and the purpose for which it was created, and also the fact that this Toyota Voxy plus other vehicles like Toyota Belter, Vit, among others, also have had the original design changed from right to left, and the fact that these cause a lot of problems on our roads. They seem to disagree. Well, it will take authorities really to look into this matter and ensure that in as much as they are also hearing what people are saying, the lives of Ghanaians become a priority for them in terms of how to implement the policies and ensure that there's safety on our roads. My name is Beatrice Edu, reporting live from here at the Charity Park in Dacoman in Accra. Back to you in studio, Roland.
Well, Beatrice, thank you for those updates. They're quite interesting and then also revealing. And we'll bring you more in subsequent episodes of New Day. But in the meantime, the conversation continues on our various social media platforms. But also, we have to tell you that Women in Business Dialogue Series 2026, organized by the Business Financial Times, is set to host the 3rd edition of this Women in Business Dialogue series for this year. And it's under the theme From Market to Market Leader, Empowering Women, SME and young women in agribusiness for sustainable growth. And it will be on Tuesday, April 28th at the Lancaster Hotel in Kumasi from 9 a.m. The theme is driving women-led business growth in Ghana. The Women in Business, Women Dialogue Series is an initiative aimed at promoting entrepreneurship, financial inclusion, and sustainable growth among women-led businesses in Ghana and beyond. This year's edition will convene women entrepreneurs and market leaders, policy analysts, as well as makers, financial institutions, and development partners to deliver high-level plenary discussions. And there also will be practical masterclass sessions, opportunities to connect, network, and learn from top business leaders, practical insights and strategies to grow and then scale our businesses, and then also exposure to financing options and markets and institutional support systems. There will be guidance on overcoming barriers in the business ecosystem, access to skills development and mentorship opportunities. And remember, the sponsors, partners, and lead are Ecobank Ghana, supporting sponsors Gino Unilever Ghana, the Bank Hospital, and then, of course, the media contacts are the following lines: 020 94 574 27, 024 47 25 688. Media partners are TV3 Onya TV, 3FM Asase Radio, City FM, Hello FM, Kesben FM, and TV, Lawson Radio, and TV. We have to do some birthdays. Let's do some birthdays. Before we do those birthdays, though, let's look at the first draw for cash outs. It goes with a Shoko star 439 hash. And let's do the countdown and see who will be the winner this morning. 3, 2, 1, and the number winning is the number 0545375 star star star. Well, let's do some birthdays. It'll be on your screen shortly. And please make sure that you send those birthdays. Let me say good morning to you. CO Peter Kujo of the Ghana Police Service, wishing you all the best for the day. But Mrs. Cynthia, you celebrate your birthdays from your daughter Priscilla. Happy birthday to you, Mrs. Cynthia. Benjamin Asantiaye from your wife Evelyn, wishing you all the best for the day. Happy birthday. Faisal Abdul Idrisu, Volta Regional Correspondent for Media General, wishing you prosperity and long life. Alaji. Elder Daniel Crime of TAC Teshi from Elder Shiboy, happy birthday to you, Daniel. Lady Mrs. Crime of TAC Teshi, also from your husband, happy birthday to you, Mrs. Crime. And Godwin Agbe of Pantosa from Skido and Pospi, wishing you all the best for the day. Happy birthday to you, Godwin. Engineer Jonas Ambuachi, celebrate your birthday from Justice and Osabuti Samson. They are wishing you all the best for the day. ADO1 Michael Asante of the Ghana National Fire Service from Intake 18 and Justice and all your mates, happy birthday to you. Kumie Jakwa, you celebrate your birthday and your parents are wishing you all the best. I say your boy Mildred, happy birthday from your parents. And then also celebrate your birthday, Alhaji Abdallah Otu from Idi Amin, happy birthday to you. Spices, happy birthday. May all your prayers be answered. Esther Okluhabo, long life and prosperity, happy birthday to you. And then also Priscilla Kwe, you celebrate your birthday, happy birthday to you. And it's all from the family and your grandchildren. Lawyer Sixtus Don Ulo, you celebrate your birthday from all of us right here at Media General, happy birthday to you. Father Joe, embrace blessings from the fathers. Reginald, awake, be great from your mom. Happy birthday to you. Abdul Razak Swale, former president of the Teacher Trainees Association of Ghana and a youth activist. God bless you. Happy birthday to you. Billion, little sister, and it's from your mom. Happy birthday to you. Bishop Kofi Hene Asari from New Season. Oh. Dr. Abigail Dramina, you celebrate your birthday. Abigail, happy birthday to you. Ms. Jifa Monu, you celebrate your birthday today. May all your heart desires be established. Abdul, happy birthday to you. Faisal Abdul Idrisu, Walter Regional Correspondent for Media General, happy birthday to you as well. Prophet Dance of Fame, happy birthday from Felicia. Christina Majwa Atembil Daniels, your husband says he loves you so much. Happy birthday to you, Christina. Mrs. Esther Gifty or Day of Tema is from Emmanuel, your husband. Says, God bless you, my love. And then Hamza Suhayeni, private legal practitioner and politician. Happy birthday to you as well, Hamza. Send your hope. You celebrate your birthday from your loved ones. Happy birthday to you. From your children, have a blessed one as well. And that'll be for our edition this morning. Make sure you join us same time tomorrow. Bye-bye.